What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We should be live. Yep, looks like we are good to go there. Let me adjust this just a little bit. Okay. Who do we got first in the chat today? Of course, it's Craig Lilly, as always. What up, Craig? We got Staying 2007 in the house. We got Coalition Gaming Chris. What's up? What's up? KL130, Extreme Zone 987. Uh-oh. Why's my chat? Give me 1 second. Yeah, my chat is broken over here for some reason. Alright. Give me 1 second. Why has Chrome just been breaking all of a sudden? Yes, I know I shouldn't use Chrome. It's just I've been using it for... When did Chrome even come out? I used it pretty soon after it came out. Once you get too used to it, it's hard to go to anything else. I did use Firefox on the streams for a little bit. Mainly so that I didn't accidentally leak my address. Because if I was, you know, Chrome with the quick search stuff, for some reason you can't disable that. It used to be a thing, you know, like the autocomplete. Like if I actually type in like the first number of my address or something, it might pop up even though I'm in incognito mode. So that's the annoying thing about that. So that's why I used Firefox as a different browser before. But yeah, I don't know why I went back to Chrome for the streams. Alright, I need to update the chat. So I can continue saying hi to everybody. Here we go. Alright. So then, what up, what up? We got Mr. Pete. What up, Tyler? Okay, this isn't working either. So I gotta update the comment highlighter. What up, Tyler? Yo, so I'm building a PC right now and have no M.2 screw. It's taped down, but what else will work? Yeah, the M.2 screws are one of the most annoying things. I used to run into those problems, but let's take a look. Actually, let's try this new vertical screen. AliExpress. So what I ended up doing, because I work on computers so often, and maybe this isn't really a solution for people who only have like one system, but it's still cheap enough. And if you're just into computers in general and might build for somebody else, what I would do is, oh my god, M.2 screws. Let's take a look, and we'll take a look on Amazon too. I've tried this vertical thing out just because if I zoom in, the text might be better. But if this looks like crap, then we'll go back. Like if you take a look at M.2 screws, M.2 screws are one of those things where the cost of it makes no sense. Sure, it's a specialty part, but given how tiny it is, like how much, material, metal, I guess there are some cheap ones. Oh, $4 is not that bad. I remember them being even more expensive. Yeah, $5 for 5. They're $1 each. How much are they on AliExpress? Okay, AliExpress has 10 of them for $1. I get that Amazon is cheap and you will get them instantly, but if you're willing to wait because tape works, you can get 10, you can get a lot of M.2 screws for like $1 or $2 and just stock up on them on AliExpress. The bad thing about AliExpress is it'll take like 2 to 3 weeks to get to you. But I've run systems without screwing down the M.2 screws. Well, because I'm like benchmarking and testing a lot, so I've done that before. But it's just, this is what happened. The dudes on Amazon, they bought them from AliExpress for $1, and they're upcharging it to $4 or $5, making 300 to 400% profit. So I would buy from AliExpress, and that's what I actually did. So now I have M.2 screws from AliExpress, and sometimes, do you guys know the actual screw standard for M.2s? I think there's like 2 or 3 different ones. Like these are, let's see what the size of these ones are. They call them M.2s. Okay, I don't think this vertical thing is gonna work. Yeah, it's not gonna work. because it's cutting off too much. Alright, looks like we're gonna have to go back to the normal browser scene with my tiny face. So these are just a different color. Yeah, tape works to save $5. I mean, just do it. You don't want to tape it forever, because if you bump your computer and the drive comes out while the computer's on, not only will the computer crash, you might risk, you know, corrupting your data. You don't ever want to pull, like, whatever drive you're running. You don't want to pull that drive while the computer's on, like the main OS. You can pull secondary drives and stuff. Well, that's not even recommended either. The chances of your drive being ruined or corrupting data are pretty small, but it's a non-zero chance, and you don't want to deal with that if you're not properly backed up and stuff. But yeah, I would take a look at these as an option. They are making bank on screws. How many people are buying these screws? Let's take a look. If we take a look here, I mean, look at these, 2,000 something. If you look at the reviews on Amazon, that's only reflective of a fraction of the people who are actually buying these, right? Because, I mean, how often do you actually leave a review on Amazon? I almost never. I probably leave reviews on Amazon, if I had to guess, somewhere between 1 and 5% of the time. Like, if in the last 100 items I've bought, I've left 1 to 5 reviews, if that. So this number is way tinier than how many people buy these. But yeah, they are making bank. So if you want easy side hustle, you can open up an Amazon store, find niche items. Like, would you even consider, this is, I guess, I would kind of call this niche. Computer building itself is niche compared to like everything else available on Amazon. But you can make some money. All you gotta do is undercut these guys, like this one, right? Oh, this is a new one. I think this is a new listing, 1 rating only. Someone's picking up on the scheme. They saw these guys posting for like $5.50, $7. This dude now trying to undercut $4. Already got his first. Actually, probably sold more than that, obviously, because 1 review probably equates to like tens of sales for $4. I hate drop shippers. Yeah. The thing is, we hate drop shippers, but we buy from drop shippers all the time on eBay, Amazon, stuff like that. So we're getting a little off topic though, but we're just chilling at the start of the stream as always. Before we get into the main topic, let people, you know, make their way to the stream, get their notifications, use the restroom, get a snack, get some agua. Which, by the way, these metal cups, I don't even, we got these, I think I got these for Christmas. For Christmas, I don't ask for like cool tech stuff. I ask for like things for our house. So I think this was one year's, my brother-in-law, Melissa's brother, this was on my Christmas wish list, these metal cups. And then this previous Christmas, we got the mini version of these. I'm going to metal because we've noticed all of our glass cups chipping. And that's just kind of like, it's kind of when you have guests over and stuff, and you know, you don't want them to cut their lips. You don't want to cut your own lip, but I know that my glasses are chipped, so I like turn it away. But if people don't know and unsuspectingly cut their lips, that's a bad thing. So I've just kind of transitioned to glass cups as much as I can. Just because also if you drop them or whatever, they don't break. If they get really hot and then cold instantly, they don't shatter. It's just been pretty convenient, and they look kind of cool. And they're kind of reminiscent of like if you go to one of those bougie hipster burger joints that charge way too much for food, and they use like metal lunch trays and like this and stuff. But yeah, also this will likely last me forever. So even though it's a little bit more expensive than glass cups, you know, if it lasts the next 30 years, it doesn't. This is stainless steel. I don't see any signs of corrosion or anything like that. It's really hard to scratch. So yeah, just some life pro tips for you, you know, homeowners. And once you've gone past that like single bachelor kind of phase of your life, and you're ready to like invest in random things you didn't even think you would ever invest in, like higher quality stuff, get some metal cups. It'll change your life, maybe. what's my opinions on NextGenOEM? Actually, so I did a review on NextGenOEM. We'll take a quick look because I don't want to get too far off topic. But I did a review on NextGenOEM. The good thing is, like, they've applied the feedback, a lot of the feedback. When I did the pricing out for their system, their build fee was pretty reasonable, but it depends on what your budget is, right? Right now, I think smaller SIs, system integrators, are kind of screwed because availability for like $400+ graphics card is all over the place, and the pricing is just wild. If you want something like $300-ish, like a 4060, maybe 4060 Ti, 7600, 7600 XT, you know, stuff like that and below, both in the new and used market, it is looking pretty good right now. But if you are wanting anything that's like $500+, which equates to pre-built systems in the, you know, $1,200+ range, the pricing might be a little messed up. But oops, my title, whoop. Did I miss a zero? That's the new joke now. It's a 907 XT. When is the RX 907 XT coming out? But anyways, NextGenOEM, the prices of system integrators across the board are always constantly changing. So what you need to do is go into PC Part Picker and do equivalents. I'll even bring up the let's see, nerd on a budget NextGenOEM. Let's see if that even comes up as a Google result. All right, I know this video is pretty long. It's an hour, or it's 50 minutes long, but it's an in-depth look at them, right? 907 XT Pog. But I would say go to my price breakdown. So yeah, their build fee was about $250. The thing is, though, is that pricing right now on everything is higher than it was before. Like 4070s, I don't even know if you can get them. Let's see. So at the time, 4070s were $570. So let's look on Amazon. RTX 4070. Remember, these were what, these dropped at $600. And because of the market and stagnation, they haven't really gotten price reductions. So I did this review 4 months ago, right? 4070s were $570 on here. If we go and I can't even find a 4070 because NVIDIA stopped production on the 4070. But I guess you can look at an equivalent card like what is it, 7700 XT. And those are, in the ideal world, they would be MSRP or less. You can get, okay, so AMD mid-range cards are still, okay, 450, that's not bad, but then this one's freaking 550. This one's 470, that's not that bad. So what you have to do, because I don't know what the pricing on everything across the board is like, I guess we'll take a look. Did they answer, Alex, how much do you have to spend? It's really hard to recommend any system integrator if I don't know how much you have to spend on a system. If you're considering like pre-builts, I would say it's safest to have like 1,000 at least. Some of the lower end systems are actually NextGenOEM had decent like $800 systems, but for the most part, I would say with pre-builts, because the build fee is kind of like the same whether or not you buy a cheap or an expensive system, like $250 applied to an $800 build, you get less hardware, like percentage wise, right? So my budget is like 2,000. Oh, maybe we can revisit that later on stream. I don't know who the best system integrator right now would be for 2,000 bucks. So we have to compare side by Costco. Actually, no, Costco. Build a PC sales. Let me see if I can find Costco. Costco pre-builts are 7700 XT, gang. I mean, if you bought a 7700 XT and enjoyed it thoroughly for the entire like life that it's been available, you're sitting good right now, because it's not like NVIDIA, well, NVIDIA's not even, and AMD haven't released anything to replace it yet. and that won't be for a little bit because the stuff that they're replacing right now is likely in like the $700+ territory. Costco pre-built, is that what the search terminology for? See all the new stuff. So like $2,000, right? This was 3 months ago. Damn. But you're not gonna be able to get this for it now. Around $2,000. Costco pre-builts, if you know somebody with a Costco membership that could go and buy it for you and you pay them back, or if you have a Costco membership, Costco has been like crazy with the pre-built deals as of recent. Though the Costco pre-builts are generally more expensive, I've been seeing them closer to like $1,500+ because they're putting like these RTX 4080 Supers, 4070 Supers, things like that in it. So yeah, I would say thanks. Looking at next gen Rhea model. Okay, we can take a look at that and then we'll get into the main discussion. You can just take a look. So the biggest issue, okay, so the Rhea is on sale for 10% off. It's got a 4070, just the 4070 for $1,800. Yeah, you can do better than that. You should at least be in like TI Super territory. And let's see what else they have on this one. 1 terabyte. Yeah, for $1,800, I'm thinking you can easily get a 2 terabyte system with a better graphics card. The whole Intel thing is kind of, I don't know. A lot of people are like so anti-Intel now, even though they've released, the fixes for these. Like these pre-builts that you're buying, like a 4070 and a 13700 KF, that's a fine pairing. Even with the BIOS update, even if it tunes the chip down a little bit to make sure it doesn't burn out, I don't think this is an issue. But if you care about future proofing and stuff like that, you may want to go. The thing about NextGenOEM, my biggest criticism, or one of my big criticisms of them at the time, was they did not have like any Ryzen systems or any AMD graphics cards, which I think is hurting them because Intel's reputation is kind of hurt from, the last year of news. So I would say shop around a bit more. If you go to our Discord server, because I got the rest of the stream to do, I can't focus on just, helping out one person the whole time. If you post in here, there's like a parts build-in advice channel. If you post in there, people will help chime in. If I see it and remember to get to it, I'll help chime in. But there's a lot of very enthusiastic people in the community that will, love helping others out. So join the Discord server and post in there. But yeah. Only the 4060 kept being made up. I don't know with regards to like NVIDIA's production of the 4000 series, which cards like are still in production and which card stopped production when. But it is very obvious anything 4070 and above, there's just like no inventory for anywhere. Like let's take a look at Newegg while we finish off that conversation before we start talking about the cards that are going to replace those. The 5070, which is coming out next week, March 5th. Let's see, what are we looking at here? 4070. If you want the cheapest one, and let me refresh all of ourselves. MSRP. That came out 2023, almost 2 years ago at $600. And now they're sitting on Newegg. You can't even find them on Amazon, as we just saw. Like on Amazon, when I type in 4070, it gives me either pre-builts or 3080s, and like, gosh, Amazon. When I'm searching for a specific product, even if it's no feature deals available, oh, here's a 4070 Super for $800. That's a pretty gross price because it's supposed to be $600. Yeah, I just wish Amazon would show the listings that they had previously, just like out of stock or something like Newegg does, just so that I could see it or look at the third-party sellers. I don't want to look at everything that's not a 4070. I guess 4070 Ti I'm fine with because I did type the term 4070. But yeah, stop showing me 4060s and stuff. But if we look at Newegg, at the pricing, yeah, the cheapest one is almost $800. So, next week, we got 2 drops of cards in this performance category. And we're about to talk about that in a second because I think there's a lot of people who are really trying to get these cards. There's a lot of people who aren't trying to spend $1,000 on a graphics card. They're like at the $500 to $700 band, which is pretty good for, you know, getting a graphics card and hopefully it lasts you like 3 to 4 years. But I'm not, to me, I'm not super hopeful about it, because if we take a look at Best Buy, they started listing if I'm going to camp for a card, this is the card I'm camping for. And then the next day I'm going to camp for whatever the heck supposedly the 9070 XT and 9070 are supposed to go for. I want a Founders Edition 5070 for $550. I'm saying it right now. Even if the reviewers come out with their 5070 or like, don't buy a 5070. 5070 is a disappointment. You know those sensationalized titles for it. I'm saying right now, if on launch day I wake up and I see this, I'm instantly buying this. The way it works is that the reviews are gonna come out like a day before, or is it gonna come out? Wait. What's the reviews on these gonna be? Are the reviews on? I've forgotten already. This is only like a month ago. The 5080s and 5090 reviews, did they drop when the cards became available to buy, or was it a day before? Either or, regardless of what the reviewers end up saying, I'm picking this up if it is available to me at $550, like a day or two before. Okay, sorry. For some reason, I was thinking it was like the morning of, which would be super crazy. Which is kind of crazy because I don't know what the embargo for the reviews of the 9070 and 9070 XT are, and those are launching one day after this. So this launches next week on March 5th. So next Wednesday is gonna be a good stream. It's gonna be the day that these launch, so we can come here and talk and complain about the lack of availability. But then hopefully we'll have like actual dedicated review videos for AMD's counterpart to this, which is gonna launch the next morning, supposedly. Hey, what's up, Chris Cass? 9070 XT says same day, but probably won't be public till February 28th. That might change. Yeah, I thought it was the morning of. Why am I confusing myself on that? Sorry, I need to get caught up on chat. We're going to talk about what to expect out of these cards, because obviously these are going to go for closer to, let's see, if we're following to the trend of everything that's already released, street prices are easily $100 to $150. Like straight up from Micro Center themselves, they're going to be marked up that much, especially for AIB cards. They don't even have Founders Editions, even though I think the Founders Edition look awesome. But, so let's just say Micro Center, the place that everyone loves to go and camp out to pick up physical graphics cards, because it's kind of like one of the only places you can do that. Their prices for these are likely going to be anywhere from $650 to $700, if not $750. And then you got the scalpers marking them up to like $800 or $900, which is kind of gross. So if AMD is going to come in with similar performing cards, which we don't know how much they're going to perform, you know, at, I'm not seeing the AMD cards being less than like 600 if I'm being kind. I'm not seeing a 5 for the first digit on AMD cards. I'm not seeing anything, not 599 even. Well, that's basically 600, but I'm not seeing like 550 for even the 9070 non-XT. It's just, we're going to take a look at leaks, and which I think some of the leaks are more concrete now than they have been in the past weeks because we are a week out from it. But yeah, let me, In Decline says, I say 57.99. I think you are being an optimist. If it performs well, here's the thing about AMD, as we saw last gen, and NVIDIA too. So we're reaching the point where getting gen over gen uplifts is just difficult now, right? That's why AMD kind of just gave up on high-end graphics cards, because it is hard to do. As much as you have all these YouTubers complaining like, oh, we're not seeing the same 15-20% uplifts that we've seen in previous gens, and everyone's like complaining about the naming schemes of graphics cards. Physically, to make the graphics card, the die itself, like the nanometer processes and all of that, the architecture, it is hard. That's why the saying Moore's law is dead exists, right? That trend of increasing transistors, decreasing the size, the performance output. We're reaching a point where physically it is, I'm not gonna say impossible, but it gets more and more difficult for the next generation of architecture, right? So that's why NVIDIA is investing so much into AI and all these other ways to circumvent hitting like that literal physical wall of producing cards that have these 10, 15, 20% uplifts. So where am I even going with this conversation? Oh, yeah. So it's either what they're doing now is keeping the baseline, like, you know, what we know as like raster level of performance and like non-upscaled native resolution. That is like really stagnating. You're seeing single digit uplifts gen after gen, and they're investing into like the AI and on the software side of things to get uplift and more frames and more smooth gaming experience. Unless we get some breakthrough, right? To be able to, I don't know, the way that graphics cards are even designed and operate, unless there's some like straight up paradigm shift of how that works, this is what we're going to be seeing year after year. Watch Intel come out of nowhere, boom, B590. Dude, I've been seeing on the Intel subreddit people like sniffing some copium, thinking Intel can produce anything that can even compete with the 70 series and the 70 series cards from either AMD or NVIDIA. Like, you really think the company with its top end consumer gaming graphics card, the B580, which is supposed to MSRP for $250, but let's be generous and say it's like a $300 graphics card. You think they're just gonna come and somehow out of nowhere produce graphics cards that are gonna compete with the likes of $600 to $700 graphics cards from the two bigger players in the industry? Intel's like you're talking about like market share. NVIDIA is dominating. AMD, as good as they are, people are loving the the most recent generation of AMD graphics cards. As much as people love them and told about how good they are and all of that, NVIDIA's market share still is like 2-3x of them. And then you have Intel, which is like, I mean, it's negligible if you compare to them two. In what world is Intel releasing a graphics card that is double the performance and price of what they currently existingly have anytime soon? I'm not seeing it happening. Go to the Intel subreddit and start reading about what people are predicting about the performance, you know, because right now we're on the 500 series for Battle Mage, but there's not even any inklings of news of like the B750 and the B770, which would replace the Alchemist A770 and A750. But people are predicting those cards, even though there's like zero rumors or leaks or speculation out about it, or they're speculating about it. They're thinking those, like the B770, if it came out, it would be like a $400 to $500 card that can compete with the 5070. And I'm just like, have you guys not been following the trend of graphics cards and pricing for the last, I don't know how many years post-pandemic? It's not looking good. Yes, they did have the A770, so the B770 could potentially play in the performance highest refresh 1440, which would be around the $450 price range, right? That's what the RX 7700 XT and 7800 XT, which are like $450 and $500 respectively, that's how much those cost. But I'm not personally seeing it. I think Intel are, for the most part, gonna be, for the next like 1 or 2 years, all you're gonna get from them is $300 or less graphics cards. We need an octagon in the Micro Center parking lot and people can fight for a GPU. It's funny because when you think of the average, like, when people think of nerds, I think they think of the 90s and 80s or maybe even early 2000s definition of nerds, where like it's really was either basement dweller, neckbeards, which I guess there still are those types of nerds these days, as well as like skinny, you know, like me, skinny glasses, annoying voice type of nerds. But as we've seen in like the last decade or so, there's been like a shift into like gaming and popularity of like computer building and everything like that, where you have a lot of jacked, in fit, or not in fit, but in shape nerds who are also into fitness and being in good shape and, you know, buff and stuff like that. The only one that can come off the top of my head is like Tyler One or something. But have you seen his like his big three lift numbers, bench pressing, squats, and deadlifts? Like there's a lot of gamers now that aren't your stereotypical like out of shape, can't fight nerds. A lot of people are into martial arts as well, and you know they cross that that hobby or interest with like their nerdy side and stuff. So yeah, you do have a lot of physically capable nerds where if you did actually have a octagon and had people fight over the cards, that would be pretty entertaining. Also, I have always said that if there was ever a tech YouTuber boxing thing, kind of like how they did with the streamers with that boxing charity event, and there's like the whole YouTube boxing scene, which I follow decently well. And the only people who could ever throw this off is probably Linus Media Group, because they're big enough and to be able to round this up, get a venue and like all that. If they ever needed somebody in the 140-ish pound or below weight class to do a tech YouTuber boxing match, sign me up. I don't know who would be my opponent. The only person I think is like that lightweight and skinny that I know of, and I don't even know if he's that skinny anymore, is like Greg Salazar, who's one of my buddies. He's a little bit taller than me, so he has more reach. But I think that would be fun. That'd be an awesome thing to do. No versus Austin Evans. See, the thing is, if we do this boxing thing and it's held by Linus, is it going to be open to the whole tech scene with regards to like laptops and phone people like Austin Evans? Or is it going to be specifically like the PC building or PC tech scene, right? I don't know how much Austin Evans weighs. I don't even know how tall he is, but if he's decently taller than me, his weight might be closer to like 150, 160. And obviously in martial arts or boxing and everything, every pound matters. That's why you have all these divisions in boxing, like separated by like 3 to 4 pounds. It's crazy. So I think back in the day, Linus is about the same height as me. He's like, I'm 5'6". He's probably like 5'7". I think he's put on some weight over the years. I think he used to be probably around 140, but nowadays he's looking like, I don't know if he's talked about his weight recently, but Linus looks like he's closer to maybe 160. So I don't know if, and obviously I wouldn't go up against Linus. I'm too small fry for that. So if Linus would host a thing like that, the thing about MMA is it's way too difficult. Like when you add in like kicks, elbows, knees, if you do that, for beginners you probably wouldn't even, or for like novices, non-professionals, you probably wouldn't even do all those things because it's just too dangerous. And you'd have to wear like shin guards, headgear for sure. Boxing is just easier. Like it's not, I'm not saying it's easier. Boxing is actually very difficult, but boxing versus MMA, that's, why do you think when people at Walmart randomly fight each other or at wherever, all they're doing is like throwing punches and stuff? Because I think naturally humans, if you're able to do anything, you are more likely to be able to throw a decent punch than you are like to do or like a kick or like a takedown or some kind of submission. All that other stuff you kind of need training for. Anyone can just throw a punch. I mean, it could be like a you know, girly punch, I guess. But I mean, I think the average person can throw like a decent like straight, right? So that's why I think boxing, when it comes to like people with no or little experience, that's what you would go for over MMA. MMA would be just way too messy And also, if you think about it, like spectator wise, right? Um, I think a lot of times if you incorporate grappling and stuff, there's a lot of stalling, and you're just like trying to. Have you watched a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament or like a pro event? Unless you're super into that stuff, like for the casual viewer, oh my god, it is so boring. Like you're just stuck in guard trying to get a different position. So, sorry, we're going off topic talking about boxing and MMA because of one comment. We just totally went off tangent there, but yeah. What's the dono for a Nope heavy bag? Dude, the heavy bag, there's no room in the garage right now. Because we got the EV and we parked in there and everything had to shift around. I could barely reach my workout equipment. Who would Jay's 2 cents fight? Jay is an interesting one because he's actually a really tall guy. But I don't know what his weight is. His weight, I mean, he talks about this all the time. It fluctuates, so. I actually wouldn't mind a fight club in Market Center. Yeah, if you have any kind of training in any kind of combat sports or like martial arts and stuff like that, yeah, you would probably be ahead of the curve. That's the thing. I haven't trained martial arts for years, but I trained like kickboxing, like Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like post graduating college for like a few years. And what I've noticed is that when you're a beginner, like even if you have like a couple of months of whatever martial arts you're doing, a couple of months puts you so far ahead compared to like the average Joe with zero training experience. Just because in those first few months you're learning so much and like applications and stuff that like you just became that much more useful. Like any amount of training at all puts you ahead, assuming that the average Joe isn't like super athletic, because if someone's like 250 pounds and you're 140 pounds, even if you have training and they have no training, yeah, they could probably figure out a way to just smash you into the ground and just like crank your neck or something. So you're screwed if there's a big weight disparity. Who was it, Helio Gracie, whichever Gracie brother that was known for being the tiny 100-pound dude, he would get smashed even though he was like a coral red belt or whatever. He would get smashed by some untrained football player that's like 300 pounds. Like, that's why they have weight classes, right? But anyway, sorry. We're done with the combat talk. I'm very interested in like boxing, and I don't watch. Honestly, I like boxing these days more than like UFC and stuff. So if you guys are into boxing, don't forget Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach this weekend. Tank should win, but anytime Tank fights somebody with an undefeated record, I want to see how he takes their zero. But there's always that small chance that undefeated fighters like Tank can get their first loss. So we'll have to see. Anyways, this is true too. Conditioning wins, not punch power, because once your tank is empty, your punch power goes to like 10 to, it's like nothing. Like, have you seen these these amateur YouTube boxing events, like the one that Ludwig and them threw on or whatever, or they did chess boxing, but there's another creator clash that was iDubbbz. But like once your tank is full, like you're throwing punches that like the opponent can just eat them up because there's no power behind them. But yeah, all right, let's get to talking about graphics cards, because we've been chilling for 40 minutes somehow. You guys, I blame you guys. I already have so I've talked about this before. I've been professionally diagnosed with ADHD. Not like super extreme, but not like a small amount either. Like if there's a curve of like extremity, I'm like right in the middle, ADHD wise. But I'm not medicated just because I haven't taken that step yet. There's a lot behind the science of Adderall and similar medications that if you really get into the weeds of studying or like looking them up, can get kind of scary in terms of, in the perfect world, it becomes like, the the limitless drug where bam, you just became super ultra productive. But it does have side effects that could change just your overall personality and you as a person, and stuff like that. So I have not like gotten a prescription or anything yet. I've been strongly considering it because I do find myself when when I need to get work done, I'm constantly like trying to do 7 different things. I never get anything done. But if you've ever wondered why the hell Danny starts going off random tangents on stream, just because when my mind locks into something, it goes that direction until you guys give me another topic and then I go into a different direction. How are we talking about ADHD now? We went from graphics cards to UFC fights to boxing to to this. We need to get on track and talk about these graphics cards and what people are saying and the leaks surrounding them. Have you watched Jaden Animation's video on learning she has ADHD? It's really good. I've not. I've watched Ryan Higa, who's one of the OG YouTubers who's quit since then, and I think he started a podcast, but then he quit that too. I've watched him, and everything that he says like makes sense. Everything I've watched about it, it's like, oh, so this is what I've had my entire life. This is why, my mind races at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and sometimes I can't get the things that I want to say out of my mouth because I'm trying to say 7 different things and it's not organized. Okay. Give me 1 second. For some reason I still have this lingering cough. The ADHD is your superpower though. I mean, it depends. I think so we know Linus, he has publicly talked about having ADHD before in the past. I don't know if he's medicated or not. Do you guys know? But one of the things that I've seen in the WAN show is people complaining about Linus interrupting Luke like 1,000,000 times. And that's actually one of my issues. If you've ever met me in person, even in like the street interview videos and YouTube shorts that I do, the way I cut it, you guys may not realize that sometimes I cut it because I'm just straight up being rude and interrupting the person. So I need to get better about like when people are talking about something, I am instantly ready to engage because in my mind, I'm finishing what they're saying and responding to it while they're mid-sentence, which is one of the things that I am aware of, and I try to work on it, but it's just, 35 years of your life you've been like this. It's just not a habit you fix overnight. On the stream, I think it works better because, I can pull up your guys' comments and stuff like that. It's a lingering side effect of your monkeypox. Yeah, maybe. On the streams, it's better because it's there's no me interrupting you guys, right? It's the chat. I pull up the highlight stuff. I can address it. But if you've ever had a physical, face-to-face or even a Discord call conversation with me, which in this chat is pretty limited, right? We've got Jason and Coalition Gaming Chris and maybe a couple of other people who have maybe met me in person. But if you've ever noticed that I am constantly or often cutting you off or interrupting you, that is the reason why. I'm not doing it on purpose. I don't realize it until after the fact, and then when I reflect, I feel really bad about it because it's just rude. To not let people talk and to constantly talk over them or to cut them off. So this is my official apology because I know I've probably cut you guys off before physically. I take donations at apology, Nat. You ain't getting no donation over that. Yeah. Lol, when I'm able to notice, I immediately apologize and tell them to continue. I need to do better about that. Also, another side effect, last thing about ADHD is oftentimes my mind wanders when people are talking, even if I'm trying to be fully engaged. This happens all the time to my wife. So as you can imagine, she gets frustrated at me because she would be starting to talk to me and I'm listening at the beginning, but then my mind is thinking about, man, I wonder if the 9070 XT is really gonna come out and stuff. It's just the way my mind works. It's not that what she has to say is not interesting. It's just if for whatever reason I look at a red apple, I'm like, red. Oh, red is associated with Radeon graphics cards. Oh, that Radeon graphics card. In my mind, it's just ping-ponging ball, thousands of ping-pong balls going all over the place, and just wherever I randomly grab, that's what I'm thinking about. So, anyways, yeah. What up, Buzz Dreamy? Yeah, not good when you're supposed to be listening to the wife. Been there. This also happens quite often when we're driving somewhere, because like when I drive, I like zone out. It is hard for me to focus on driving for some reason. Like obviously, it's that thing where you guys have had this happen before, right? Even though you're not tired or sleep or anything, but like you've driven somewhere and you're like, I do not remember that drive I just did. I don't even know how I got here safely. I don't remember like what I was passing by, the cars surrounded around me, things like that. Like I just somehow magically appeared at this location, even though I am fully awake and was attentive while driving because I didn't crash, obviously. But like my mind was not on the road. I guess driving can become like secondhand if you're driving the same routes over and over. But still, it's driving in the car is one of my worst locations to have a conversation with Melissa, because like my mind goes into its own world. I bought a Tesla K80 GPU for no reason last night. Does that count as ADHD? That might just be, what would that count as? That's just impulsive spending. I don't know if that's ADHD. Yeah, autopilot, subconscious taking over. One of these days, hopefully, all the cars will be autopiloting, and then we don't actually have to pay attention except to intervene, which is what Tesla, the full self-driving thing has right now. But yeah, bro wants to tell Melissa to quit yapping. No. As you guys can imagine, I can yap my fair share. So, if anything, I over yap. And she's a normal. I don't want to say normal because that makes that puts like a different connotation on ADHD person. But she is what is the proper term for it? Is it like neurodivergent? Does that apply to ADHD people? But she does not have ADHD. So us having conversations, it is just like two different, completely different like end of the spectrum, trying to coexist, which we've been doing for 10 plus years. So we're fine. She's a normie. Yeah. It's not just TikTok, isn't it? Isn't it just, if you watch any medical thing about it, that they use that term? Yo, Danny, GPUs remember. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Craig Lily with the 40-month channel membership. Thank you for the ongoing support. I need to refocus my face. Okay, here we go. Why am I so out of focus randomly? I just thought that's how that's the thing. When you had ADHD all your life and there wasn't all these TikTok and YouTube shorts and stuff telling you like, oh, this is actually like, you know, a thing, then you thought, oh, everyone was probably like that. Kind of like growing up. So I have lupus, which is an autoimmune disease with similar, I guess, symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. I've been diagnosed since I was like 10 years old, right? So I have joint problems. And growing up, before I got diagnosed, like when my like wrist or knees or like elbows and joints and stuff had pain, like the pain I'm talking about, like struggling to turn a doorknob, that kind of arthritis pain, right? Like there's sharp pain. Before I got diagnosed and learned about the disease, I was like, oh, I just thought everyone just every once in a while just, you know, has pain doing basic tasks like, you know, brushing their teeth and turning a doorknob and stuff like that. So yeah, that's same thing with the ADHD. Until I started looking more into it, I learned that not everybody's mind works like that. And if you take some special medication for it, you can make your mind work like other people, which some people are like, you don't necessarily want that. Like again, someone said it was a superpower. I would like to be more productive. I would like to sit down and be able to complete a task without randomly deciding I need to wash the dishes and vacuum like the corner and start organizing my shelves and all that stuff. And I think I've seen a lot of, I guess, arguments or discussion saying you can do all those things without medication. You just need to be more self-disciplined. And I don't know, man. I've been trying for years, once I've learned that I had ADHD, that, like, to be more self-disciplined. How do you become more how do you make yourself be more self-disciplined? Unless you have someone there to slap you every time you're off task. right? But like I was functional enough to not get fired from like work and things like that. So I don't know. Selena Gomez has it as well. Yeah, she has lupus, but hers is lupus is a wide variety of things. Being an autoimmune disease, it can attack anything: your skin, your like internal organs. Your mine was mainly joints, but yeah, I don't know what her version is. Read your title. Reminders by the chat bot is needed. You mean to get back on task? I'm trying to find these posts. Sorry. People are like, I'm not here to listen to some dude complain about him having ADHD for, 20 minutes. Let's look at the newest stuff regarding... Wait, what? This does not look... Video card article says 9070XT listed with $1,800 price. Oh, that's pre-built. What's 9700X in it? Okay. Looking at this, if I had to do a quick ballpark estimate, I thought, say, if the graphics card was that much, that's ridiculous. I mean, just looking at this, I'm seeing about like a $700 9070 XT. But let me... see what other... So 4 hours ago. Micro Center listings. Here we go. Okay. Micro Center pricing on the 9070. Oh, look. 9070 non-XT. $650. Not $700. No. Wow, the XT goes from $700 to $900 depending on the model. Where's... How many 90s... There's... Reaper Triple Fan 9070 for $1,100. What the heck? Okay, so here's all the pricing. The cheapest one... What the... So the cheapest 9070 XT that's being shown here is $730, and then $650 for the 9070. And this seems like it's gonna go the way of the 7700 XT versus the 7080 XT. Like for less than $100, get the better card. Even though they are both 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Let me look at the price difference. Electric shock collar connected to software that can zap you. See, what if I somehow was able to incorporate that into like stream elements where if people donated money, it would shock me. Though people would just donate it to shock me regardless, even if I wasn't off topic. But, okay. So let's look at the price increase between, so 730 divided by 650. That's between these two right here. These two prices. That's 13%, or 12%. So for the XT, just to be better value, I mean, between these two, it's only $50, which is even less than 10%. It needs to just be at least 10% better to make the 9070 really not part of the conversation. But obviously, that's going to be dictated by if there's even any XTs. The popular card is going to sell out, like we've seen with the 5090s and the 5080. Like, 5080s were less popular and more obtainable, and there was more stock of it. But 5070 Ti's, it seems like more people were able to get those than they were the other two cards that were more popular. So if you've got cards that are priced this closely, you may be able to get a 9070, but are you going to live with buyer's remorse of not spending the extra 50 to 80 bucks or whatever it is to get the better card? I guess the question goes to the people who have a 7700 XT. When you could have spent 50 bucks more for 7800 XT, do you kind of regret it and have buyer's remorse? If you look at any of the reviewers, they said, just based on the numbers, right? The 7800 XT was the better value because you're spending, from 450 to 500. That's about 10%. And you get more than a 10% uplift for 10% more of the cost. FPS per dollar is a better value. I mean, as long as the 9070 XT is more than 10% better than the 9070, it's the clear-cut choice winner, unless you have a hard budget and cannot go up to, you know, this. There are some people who just have straight up $600, that's their limit. They cannot go $50 over. Actually, I'm trying to think of if that makes sense or if that's reasonable, because if you're in the market of building a PC that is $1,000 plus, right? Because you're using a $600 or $700 graphics card, does a $50 hard budget make sense? At this point, you're buying something which is not a necessity in life. It's a want, not a need. And there are cheaper options of anything that exists, right? Like, you don't need a $2,000 PC. Most people, if you had to, like, I always use this example. If you threw someone, like, on a desert island, deserted island, that's also a desert, not dessert. Okay, that was just confusing right there. Deserted meaning nobody was there, not dessert like the food, but also desert meaning sand. If you threw them on an island and gave them an $800 computer and food and stuff like that, they could probably find a way to entertain themselves for the whole year. But nobody needs a $2,000 to $3,000 computer. So this is, hopefully, people are buying it with either money saved up, they're not going into debt, or it's like disposable income. When it comes to disposable income, you could use the argument that $50 should be like not even something to think twice about. Just pay the extra 50 or 80 bucks to get the better card. You shouldn't be in a position where $50 makes or breaks you being able to pay your bills or paying, you know, rent, putting food on the table. I feel like sorry for the cough. I feel like if you're in the position to buy these cards and these levels of computers, you are well off enough where 50 bucks shouldn't be a make or break point, right? And that's kind of opposite of what I do. Like, every time I do a budget build, I try to stay strictly to the budget. But that's just a limitation that I put on myself, because otherwise it's not challenging. You can always $50 here, $20 there. Oh, just spend another $10 for more of that. You do that with like every component in the computer, now you're like $200 to $300 over. But for one component, if you're gonna go, you know, oh, just spend a little bit more on, and if it's the graphics card, I think CPU and graphics card, that's like your primary drivers of performance, right? If you're gonna, oh, $50 more here on it, it should be one of those two components. And in this case, I think just even before seeing the performance numbers, the XT is going to be the clear-cut choice. Food is overrated. I'll skip a few meals before having a 4060s. That is true. There are levels to food, just like there are levels to computers. You don't need the high-end stuff. You can operate on the low-end stuff or learn to cook. Stop being so lazy and Uber Eatsing and stuff all the time. You know how much a bag of potatoes, a bag of carrots, some... You know how cheap chicken is? Even with the bird flu going on, egg prices are expensive, but chicken prices have still been pretty good. Get some seasoning and spices. You've got yourself, like, you know, or whatever vegetable you want to throw in there. You've got a hearty, nutritious meal for, like, less than $3 or $4 a meal. You're just going to have to eat that same thing because you're going to be buying bulk bag potatoes and carrots and like bulk chicken from Costco or from the store, you know, when they got like chicken thighs by the like 10 or 12 per pack. Yeah, you're eating that for the next 12 meals. But then you save the money to buy your 4060. Ramen is cheap. Ramen is cheap, but I mean, I don't know if anybody can argue that ramen is healthy. Ramen in a pinch is good. Ramen for 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks in the year, you shouldn't be doing the majority of your meals ramen. The amount of salt and other whatever they put into those delicious little flavor packets, yeah, that's not something you want to be eating on the regular. Maybe a couple of times a week, but definitely don't do it once a day even. Chicken, brown rice, and broccoli is my go-to. That's like, this is like the quintessential bodybuilder or like, you know, lifting diet. Bulky, or, you know, proteins, maybe limited carbs. If you're trying to like get in shape and fit or get ready for a bodybuilding show, you probably do less rice and more broccoli and chicken, right? But yeah, that's the typical lifting diet. All the dead chickens heading to the processing plant. Cup noodles is cheap, but blood pressure pills aren't. That is true. Mind your health. Which is brought to you by the sponsor of the stream. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, mind your health. Whether it be ergonomic chairs, whether it be your diet, whether it be exercising, which I've been bad about. I need to get back into like routinely working out because, you know, once you start approaching that old guy age, 40 years old, man, your body, I'm already feeling it drastically going downhill. That reminds me, it's meal replacement shake time for me. Chris is also another quote unquote old guy. Not old guy, but older guy. Okay, so if these are the prices of the 9070 and 9070 XT, what are your guys' thoughts on it? I mean, they're listed at Micro Center for that much. Let me see if I can find anything else on it. Actually, what are people even saying about this? Considering it's that's the pre-built one. Give me. Prices in Turkey. I saw this before I saw the other post, and I kind of freaked out. But this is so. I've heard this before. In other countries, people complain like, "Why are you buying Nvidia over AMD? AMD is a better option." Yeah, in the US and maybe Canada and select countries. I've heard multiple times and have seen from countless Reddit posts, Twitter, YouTube comments, etc. People buy Nvidia in other countries because of the lack of availability of AMD cards or just ridiculous pricing. Like this is Turkey. A 9070 XT supposedly going for the equivalent of $1250 USD. Let's say compare $700 at Micro Center, right? Just going outside the US, no matter what, you're gonna have higher prices, just because PC hardware is just more expensive around the rest of the world. And then you factor in the AMD versus Nvidia competition. This is where let's just say the markup is $300. So you have $1,000 AMD card compared to the US prices just for not being in the US. And then you have the fact that AMD has just whatever for the same performance level has an additional markup compared to Nvidia. And then you reach your $1,250 price point, and that just sounds ridiculous. And that freaked me out pre-stream when I saw this post, which was posted 7 hours ago. But this is, specific to Turkey. So I don't know if I have any viewers from Turkey, like even in the stream right now or just in general. But let me see what else. Polish price. I want to look at the performance though. Leaked estimate performance. What is this from? Video cards. I saw one that was like based on Linux, which I'm not sure if people care about that. So, okay, comparison to the GRE. Where is this from? What's the source of this? So this is, video cards seems to have people that they do rely on information on. And if anything, since we're a week out, I would be more confident about this. For considering the ADHD, I guess you get a pass where you're saying you beat eggs with meat. Yes. So this wasn't from like that one renowned leaker from Twitter. Okay. So GRE, you guys remember what the prices of the 7900 GRE was? Before everything went crazy? You can't even find 7900 GREs anymore. Like, I'm literally typing it exactly in, and they're giving me 7800 XEs, which aren't too bad right now. What a world we live in, where I'm looking at a graphics card that is a year and a half old, that launched at supposed MSRP $500, and I'm seeing it for $520 for a pretty basic, these are pretty basic AIBs. They're not the super top end model. They're going for $520, $530. And I'm saying that's not a bad price. When historically, AMD cards specifically, not so much NVIDIA, they decreased in price as these cards get older. Within the first year, definitely year and a half, they started seeing price reductions in the ballpark of, at this price range, like $50-ish to $100, right? And they're sitting above their MSRP. And I think people are still flocking out to buy these cards. Again, this goes back to the conversation that we were having. Gen to gen improvements are not going to be as good just from here on out. So you don't need to wait for the next generation of card, which we know they're going to release at around the same price, at around the same performance level. You can just buy these ones. But yeah, going back to the GRE, I can't even find a GRE on Amazon. I don't remember if we talked about the 7900 GRE being out of production, but if we look at Newegg, 7900 GRE refurbished one was $450. That would have been a steal of a deal. Let's see anything that's not out of stock. Wow, everything is out of stock, but they were going for like $550 to $600 like 3 months ago. So using that as a baseline, right? If the 9070 is on average on 30 games, across 4K and 1440p, it's like almost the same, 20%. So that makes it easy. 20% faster. 20% times 500 or increase over $550 or $600, let's say 120. Yeah, I could see $650 for these cards easily. And that's if you do a linear scaling. If we are assuming AMD wants to give us a little bit better value, then yeah, you're getting closer to that $600, $650 mark. Let's see. 9700 XT in comparison. We're talking, oh man, these numbers just make it so much easier. This, I would say this is, let's cut it in the middle, right? Between 4K and 1440p, 40% better. 40% on top of a, let's say $600, 40% better on top of a $600 7900 GRE. That's $240 more. So that puts you at, let me see. Like you're in the $800 ballpark. Yeah, 600 plus 240 is 840. If it's linearly scaling and has zero, value gen over gen uplift. But let's say AMD wants to throw you a bone and give you some gen over gen uplift, then you're in the ballpark of $750 for the card, because $750 over 650 is 25%. So you are paying 25% more for a card you could previously get to get 40% better improvement. So that's where you get your gen over gen uplift, and it's not like, the same FPS per dollar. So yeah, these cards being $650 for the non-XT, $650 to $700 for that, and then like $750 to $800, maybe even $850 for high-end AIBs for the 9070 XT. That's pretty much in line with, these Micro Center prices. I don't think these $700 ones are that realistic. And if they are, they're never going to be in stock or available. I don't think you should expect to find a 9070 XT readily available for $700. This is like the low end, and like $650 for 9070 seems reasonable. And then from these prices, like this $730 is a little bit more reasonable. But I think there's going to be a wide range, guys. These AIBs, they've got they got their low end stuff, their mid range, and then the super overclocked chunky cooler ones. We're going to be seeing $800 9070 XTs. I'm calling it. And then by next week, we're not going to know for these AMD cards next week, because they're not going to be out until the next day for sure. And then we'll see people posting how much they got it for. So what a bad time to buy a GPU. All right. we're going to discuss this statement, which I've been seeing so much recently. And this is going to be clipped into a YouTube Shorts. It's not, okay, how are we going to approach this? There are plenty of graphics cards that are still available for decent prices, like we just saw the 7700 XT and the 7800 XT. Even though they haven't gotten their price reductions, they're still going for more reasonable prices than NVIDIA's counterpart, right? NVIDIA cards, if you look at the like 4070 and above, even a year and a half after they've been released, they're just not even available right now. So they're just scalped beyond belief by third-party sellers who just even have any inventory on them left, because they're being replaced. And NVIDIA was, I don't know what they were thinking with how little of those cards they made and how short of the production run of them were. But if you look at AMD's side, if you're open to considering AMD, you can get cards, not like the GRE and above, which kind of sucks. GRE is just non-existent. 7900 XT and 7900 XTX have been like, their prices have boosted because NVIDIA's recent releases of similarly performing cards are so high priced. All the prices of those have shifted. But because nothing has been released $500 or below, or not below, I'm dying. But because nothing has been released $500 and below, the 7800 XT and 7700 XT, which are in the US anyways, I can't speak for the rest of the world. In the US, they are readily available still for around their MSRP. And if you have $500 to pick up a graphics card, do not wait. We don't know what AMD is going to price the $500 whatever is being released, 9060 XT. Whatever is going to be around the $500 price range, we don't even know what the performance is going to look like, and we don't know what they're going to come out at. But we know AMD is likely only going to give you, for $500 compared to $500, probably 10, if I'm being generous, 15%, uplift FPS per dollar wise. So unless you're just trying to min-max your performance per dollar, if you need a graphics card right now, buying something like a 7800 XT or 7700 XT, I do not consider that a bad time to buy a GPU. It is not ideal, but we've, again, seen so much worse during the pandemic. And, even, that was what? I mean, the pandemic was 2022. It had lasting effects for like 2.5 years. So, compared to everything else going on, it is not as bad as you guys think. It is only frustrating if you are trying to buy like a $700+ GPU. If you are in the mid-range to lower end segment, even I've always said this, the 4060 is not as bad as everyone made it out to be. Like, if you had to buy a 4060 because it was the only graphics card out for aren't they cheaper right now? What are 4060s going for? Let me see. 4060s are like $270, right? Or am I confusing that with the 7600s? 4060s, so they are $300. Is there nothing cheaper? So for $300, if you had to buy a 4060, it's not. It's just like, to me, right middle of the road. Not amazing deal, but not garbage tier either. Look, you need a $300 graphics card unless you're willing to look in the used market. There is better options in the used market, like you can get the 6700 XT for around $300. But if we're talking like brand new availability, I don't think this is as bad as everyone makes it out to be. Like, you're still going to be able to play pretty much any game you want at 1080p, like high FPS. And then if you want to play 1440p, you're going to have to make use of DLSS or FSR, whichever. Like, when I say it, when I think of when I think it is a bad time to buy a GPU, I'm thinking like worse value than 4060. I'm thinking worse value than MSRP 7700 XT, 7800 XTs, right? So yeah. Drewcifer, what up, Drew? Honestly, the 4060 truly isn't that bad, and it's available. I recommended a 4060 to my uncle for his kid or my cousin. The situation was, he had around $300 to buy a graphics card. He is not located in Washington State, so that I can, you know, just find him a used deal, test it, and all that. Like, there'd be shipping involved, which starts to kill off value of used parts, and there's no warranty. Look, as awesome as a 6700 XT in the used market is compared to a 4060, there is no warranty on it, and those cards came out during a time when people were still mining like crazy. Those deals you see on eBay, as much as I love talking about used value cards and stuff like that, I'm a person who is, you know, tech savvy enough to be able to deal with troubleshooting and to live with the fact that I got a dead card. I could stress test it for like in that 30-day return window to get my money back, right? From eBay or PayPal. I think the window for used stuff is like 6 months actually. But I can be confident enough to buy one of those cards, use it, and if it dies down the road, it's whatever, right? I took that gamble getting, like, saving money to buy a used part, and I'm okay with it. My uncle and his nephew, or my cousin, or not his, my uncle and his kid, or my cousin, they are not computer people, and they don't have computer people around them unless they take it to the, you know, mom and pop shop down the street that will probably rip them off and charge $50 to $100 just to diagnose it without even, you know, for replacement parts. The 4060 fit his needs. My cousin wanted to play, what's it called? Microsoft Flight Simulator, which performs better on NVIDIA cards. There's no other way to spin it. Equivalently priced AMD and NVIDIA cards, NVIDIA in Microsoft Flight Simulator. He's younger. He's in, like, you know, middle school age, right? So a 4060 for someone in middle school, brand new with a warranty, because it's going to someone who isn't computer savvy and could really appreciate the warranty and peace of mind of not having a card just crap out on them, you know, after a year or so, right? That's the perfect use case of it, and that's why I recommended the RTX 4060, even though so many reviewers, and even myself, has said it's not a good value card, but there are specific use cases for it. Some of my games have gone beyond 8 gigabytes. It's because you have more than 8 gigabytes. You guys, did you not see my most recent video with a freaking RX 480 8 gigabyte? Killing it in God of War, Assassin's Creed, Forza. Cyberpunk, it struggles on, I don't think it's because of the VRAM. It struggles in Cyberpunk because just the raw, like, you know, core count and architecture and stuff like that. But a 4060 is way better than a 4080. If you give a game more VRAM, it will utilize it, but it doesn't make the gaming performance detrimental if you have less. And I know you guys have watched all the hardware unboxed. I've watched them too, where they compared the 6800 XT versus a 3070. Or no, it was a 6700 XT because that's more in line with the 3070. And they're like pixel peeping in The Last of Us, which is like one of the most AAA title games that is extra demanding. It doesn't reflect all games. It's like, you know, the fringe use case of it, the worst case scenario. Like, you watch that and they're pointing out like, the performance, I don't remember what performance settings that they're running on, but like, it was a use case where you did see worse 1% lows. It wasn't to the point where it was like stuttering so badly it wasn't playable. It was just in comparison, 1% lows were worse on the 3070 because it had 8 gigs versus the 6700 XT, which has 12 gigs. But like, if I had to, I don't remember exactly in the video, but weren't they running at like Ultra or something, right? Bro, you're using a sub $300 card trying to play a AAA recently released game. Lower your expectations. Like, I don't remember, was it 1440p or 1080p? Like, why are you trying to play a AAA game at 1440p at the max or close to max settings with a sub $300 graphics card and are complaining about the lack of VRAM. I am someone who always will advocate for more value, but at the same time, we're seeing like a trend in the industry and just in the market in general where that same, again, gen over gen uplift is just not there anymore. And if anything, it seems like there's a scarcity of parts that will give you good performance for your money compared to what we've historically seen. Nowadays, I'm just like, bro, if you've been waiting this long because people screwed you over if they told you wait for the next gen to release because you're gonna want to get those cards instead of what existed. If the 5080 and 5090 was anything to like reset how you think about hardware, buy a computer for what you need now. Maybe if something is releasing next week or two, or maybe next month, you can wait. But bro, we were seeing people tell others to wait like 3-4 months, a quarter, half a year. Wait. If you have a system that can hold you over, then sure, wait all you want because you can still game at, with your 3060 Ti, whatever. But if you're like looking to build a system, don't listen to the other people. Build with what you can now within your budget. Especially if it's with like, if you have $1,000 budget, you're looking at $500 graphics card, and then you fill in the rest of the components with whatever else CPU and power supply and RAM and stuff. $1,000, build right now. Don't wait. You can't afford the things that are coming out in the next week. Those are $600, $700 graphics cards, and they likely won't be available if they are at all good value. Just build right now if you don't have a system and you just need something. If you need a GPU now, get a GPU now. Exactly. Again, there's caveats to it. If you're in the market for a $700 graphics card, maybe you can wait till next week. But again, if the cards are as good as they're supposedly based on these leaks, I think they're going to be popular, and I think they're going to be sold out. And how long they're going to be sold out? What is the inventory in stock? And what was the production like for these cards? I don't know. But we've gotten to the point where people only view the, like, if you rank, let me go to Hardware Unboxed FPS. This is why I love Hardware Unboxed, because I love their charts. I could only aspire to do what they do, but I don't know how Steve, I need to ask this on his next question and answering thing, because on here they have their little Q&A sessions that they post videos every week. I need to ask Steve how he tests so many graphics cards across so many titles when there's so much shader compilation. Even with his 9800 X3D that he's using to test there, to slap in so many graphics cards, how many test systems identical to each other must he be running? And how many hours does he spend compiling shaders with these roundups that he does? But let's take a look at, because all their videos have these, 5080, was it, where's their actual, okay, 5080 review, right? I'm trying to get to their FPS per dollar value charts. Cost per frame. I love these charts. Having staff probably helps it a bit. Yeah, does anyone know how big the Hardware Unboxed team is? We know there's Steve and Tim, but how many people are on the team? The way Steve talks about it, I think he benchmarks them. He's literally talked about losing sleep on releases because he is benchmarking. Maybe he has someone helping benchmarking, but I think he also is doing the bulk of the benchmarking as well. I don't think he's doing probably as much benchmarking as any of his other helpers is also doing, right? Yeah, there's so much. But let's say we take a look at this chart. So, because there's so many different performing level cards, you can't really compare, like, let's say a 4060 to a 7700 XT. But you can compare them FPS per dollar wise to kind of normalize it a bit more. Because obviously, you have to do it FPS per dollar wise, because value a value of the card is based on both the performance and price. If you look at performance only, obviously the 7700 XT is better than the 4060. So you need to find a way to relate them. So if you look at this chart, a basic and easy way to look at it is you want as much FPS for your dollar as possible. So you have this chart where it shows the 7800 XT at $500 gets you per frame, you're spending the least amount. And as you go down the chart, it's better, right? Like, or it's worse rather. You are spending more for the same frame, which usually when you get to the high end, that's just how it works, because when you get to the bleeding edge of technology, value goes down. You're just paying more to have the best thing. But okay, if we look at the cards, 7800 XT, 7900 GREs, 4070 Super, they're all like in the $9-10 cost per frame. But then you go down to, let's say in the middle, $12 for 7900 XTX, 4070, and 4070 Ti at $600 and $800 for these $1,200. This chart isn't big enough. Dang it! I need one of his like 50 graphics cards comparisons, because honestly, if you look at this list, all these cards are actually kind of considered. I guess, yeah, 4070 Ti is kind of hard because these aren't available anymore. But all these cards are super hot right now. Like all the NVIDIA cards you can't even find in the 40 series. Basically they've been sold out, and all the AMD cards, 7900 XT, 7900 XTX, 7700 XT, 7900 GRE, and 7800 XT, those are all have been popular, pretty touted as good value cards. So this is not a good example. Where's his like 50 card comparison? 50 GPU. Can I find it? GPU roundup. What's the right term for it? I know he's done these video. Citrus with a 32-month membership. What up, Citrus? I don't know if that is auto renewal or if you're actually in the chat, but thank you. Best used GPUs. 42 graphics cards. 1 month ago. Here we go. This is what we're talking about. Oh wait, no. Do they not show any of the charts? This is from CES. Dang it, I got duped. Can anyone off the top of the... What up, Citrus? Glad to see you in chat. Appreciate the support for as long as you've been supporting. One of the super gifters that show up at the end of every video on my thank you for the memberships. I appreciate it. Tyler Rodriguez asks, does anyone know what happened? Does anyone know what happened to the 24/7 LAN stream on my channel? Yeah, I can adjust that right now. So I'm testing something out, because when I had that stream live, which I had it going for like, I think a month or something, some of my video performance was like the poorest that they've ever been. And I was thinking that at some point, people may have stopped clicking on my videos because my icon was constantly showing live. And every time they clicked on live, I wasn't actually live. It was a 24/7 stream channel. So my thought process was that people might have been frustrated or gotten sick of that and ended up not wanting to click on anything related to my channel. So I'm just trying to see if having a 24/7 live stream is detrimental to the overall growth and viewership of my channel. So I'm still, I only canceled that, what, like 2 weeks ago or something? So I need to have it off for a little bit longer, and I need to look at the data. But that's just what happened to it. I would love to keep the 24/7 live stream up, because a lot of people, even though it only like averaged 10 to 15 viewers at any given time, at peak late night time, maybe like 5 viewers. As soon as I got rid of the stream, people were like, where'd the 24/7 stream go? So I'm just doing some testing right now, because that stream doesn't bring in any money. I did it because I love sharing the LAN party stories, and people love watching the 24/7 LAN stories. And so many people told me they just tuned in randomly at random parts of the day because they wanted some background noise, but it just brought in no money. And if it's hurting the rest of my channel, which actually does bring in money, then I just simply can't do it, if that makes sense. The 24/7 were disappointed after clicking. What do you mean? That's how I felt. The 24/7 were disappointed after clicking. Yeah, also there was a lot of people who thought it was an actual LAN party going on, even though it's called LAN Party Stories TV, and I clearly put in the description, this is like an accumulation of all LAN Party Stories videos. People were like, oh, this isn't an actual live LAN party, it's pre-recorded footage. A lot of people were upset about that as well, which I shouldn't care about because there are people who want the pre-recorded footage, but there's a lot of different aspects I'm considering whether bringing it back or not, but we'll have to see. Keep probing me about it, keep asking me, because at some point I might just forget to bring it back and to look at the data, so just keep probing me about it. Paywall it, people aren't going to pay for it. I don't think it's worth paying for. It's something that you can already access on my channel for free. And I don't think I ever want to paywall the LAN Party Story series because so many people have gotten enjoyment out of it. And it's not like I got like hundreds of thousands. Guys, the last LAN Party Stories video, which I released, a month and a half or 2 months ago, it's sitting at like 28,000 views. It's a very like niche topic with a like cult following. If LAN Party Stories reflected how much time I put into documenting and then editing these videos, they would get like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. The amount of effort to make LAN Party Stories a thing is like, I'm not going to call it a waste of time because I will look back years from now and be like, thank God I documented them. When I'm a 60-year-old watching my 30 to 35-year-old self with these LAN parties, and then my kids can watch them and stuff like that, that's going to be like invaluable. You can't put a price tag on it. But right now, LAN Party Stories wise, me making those videos per hour, based on like how much viewership they bring in and like YouTube AdSense, I'm definitely making less than minimum wage. But how much below minimum wage, I don't even want to actually think about. So yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see though. I just gotta put 50. Gaming benchmark, 50 boards, motherboard. Oh, where's there 42 graphics cards? That's not the one. How is it this hard to find this video? Maybe the mid-year update. Which cards are on here? Oh yeah, this is a wider range of cards. But I was looking for the gigantic list where the font's so tiny you can't even read it. Yeah, you're right. Making YouTube videos is for the passion. But at some point, when you start to get too busy with real life, and then... I don't even have kids yet, but once I have kids, it then starts to look like how much time can I really dedicate to YouTube if, you know, I have to, like, have one or multiple kids, right? And to, you know, spend more time with family and my wife and friends and stuff. So it's a balancing act. As much as you're passionate about something, like, you still got to pay the bills, you still got to put food on the table, you still got to be, you know, like a contributing member to your household once you're a certain age. If you're a kid, just go to school, you know, do what's asked of you. But once you become like an adult, unless you can bum off your parents for like a really long time, you need to start making money with the amount of free time you have when you're not sleeping. And yeah, so whether it be like work from like a typical career job, or work from like a side YouTube as a side hobby, or YouTube as like, you know, a full-time thing, you need to like make sure you're doing well enough and not struggling financially. So yeah. Do you think the Intel Core i7 12700K 12th gen is good enough for 7900 XTX? Yeah, I think so. I mean, not at 1080p, which if you're buying a 7900 XTX, you shouldn't be playing at 1080p anyways, unless you're a godly pro gamer and you need 400 plus FPS or whatever, But no, if you're getting a 7900 XTX, you're playing 1440p pretty much maxed out, or like 4K. And at that point, I think the 1270K is just fine. Do you see yourself ever stopping the LAN series? I hope not. To the best of my ability, I will keep the LAN series going for as long as I can. Because again, if anything, if they don't, I've mentioned this before, if they don't get uploaded on the channel, I'm making them for me and my friends. And they'll go on a secondary private channel that's personal to me or something. But think about like LAN parties from the 2090s. There's that book on Amazon, right? Everybody looks back at it so nostalgically. This LAN party book. Everyone knows what we're talking about. LAN party guy duct taped. Everybody knows this image of this guy duct taped to the beam at a LAN party, right? This book is as come on, what is this? Go away. It only has 27 ratings, but I'm something like this, like it's timeless, and we all look back with fond feelings for, right? There are not many people on YouTube documenting LAN parties. There are other channels. I'm not the only channel. If you type in LAN party in like, in the recent years, there are a lot of people documenting LAN parties. They don't, from what I've seen, no one's releasing like 3-hour videos on their LAN parties, but they're doing decent summaries. Even Coalition Gaming Chris documents his LAN parties, right? But there's not a ton of that content on the internet. So as niche and cult following as it is, just look at history, at how people have looked back on it. 10, 20, 30 years from now, maybe people are going to make a LAN party documentary, or maybe one of these LAN party books, and they're going to include pictures from our LAN parties and from our clips from our footage and videos, right? I'm not saying that's the reason I'm doing it, but because again, I started the LAN party series well before the channel was even, I started the LAN party stories in the first year of my YouTube channel, before I even like reached 10,000 subs or whatever. I started it when the channel was tiny. The first LAN party was what, spring 2016 that I documented for the channel. And at that point, I must have had like a couple thousand subscribers or something. And I've kept it going on since then. So there's a very tiny chance that LAN party story series will ever go away. I will do everything in my power to continue it. Your LAN parties are fun since not people can host LAN parties. So people, if you watched my earlier LAN parties when I used to do intro videos, that is exactly my explanation for it. Go and watch the first LAN party story, spring 2016, where I actually have a talking head portion before the LAN party starts. That is the exact reason I make the LAN party stories videos, because I am fortunate enough to have a friend group that I've had for the last almost 25 years that still live, within the same state of each other. Some people have moved away and some people have come and gone, but as you've seen, since 2016, and even before that, before I started documenting them, my friend group for the LAN, and I have different friend groups, obviously, right? In real life, you have different friend groups. You have like your work friend, your college friend group, your high school friend group, but this is my high school / middle school friend group. We have been like a tight-knit group since 2016, or since, if we really talk about it, like since 2000 and like, I don't know, 2002, 2003. That's when we first met each other. We didn't become closer friends till high school, but you know the deal, right? I'm fortunate enough to have a close group of friends that can, come together regularly enough to do this, that if I can share the experience and motivate other people to get into it, let's keep LAN parties alive, right? LAN parties at some point, people might even still say nowadays LAN parties are dead. There's no point of doing LAN parties. They've never really died. People have always still been doing it, But the necessity for LAN parties isn't the same anymore. There's online gaming. Games don't even have LAN modes in them anymore. Like, if you play a game, like any modern game now, either you're playing single player or you have to go online. They don't even have LAN modes to play without an internet connection if everyone is hooked up to the same, switch or router or modem. Like, LAN parties is not the traditional LAN party playing over LAN anymore. LAN party is just the spirit of coming together with your rigs and just nerding out surrounded by your fellow gamers and, eating junk food or pizza and just dicking around and hanging out. Exactly what I showcase in the videos. Just shooting the crap with your friends. So, yeah, I've told you guys this in the past, right? Like, people have criticized my LAN party videos because we don't play a lot of LAN games. We played some LAN games. Unreal Tournament, when that was still a thing on the Epic Store. The issue with it is that setting up for LAN games is kind of annoying. You gotta do all these workarounds because most of the LAN games are older, and you have to get like the unofficial version a lot of the times if it's not on Steam. So you have to find like a cracked version, etc. Like, we're just trying to get together, hang out, and game, not try to figure out network issues and how to get games from 2000 to work over LAN. Like, I mean, Warcraft 3 is a pretty easy one that we've done. We've stopped doing it just because not everybody's into RTSs and Warcraft minigames. But like, I've gotten criticized for not playing real LAN games at our LAN parties because the games we play are over an internet connection. Like, why are we doing that? Because a LAN party isn't just about playing over a local area network. It's about playing games next to your buddies. And then people have also left comments. Some people love the LAN party story series, right? And they're just like, man, I wish I could do that. But I've gotten a lot of comments of people saying, what's the point of doing that? Seems like a hassle to have to disconnect your setup, lug it to your friend's house, play for a couple of days, or even just one night if you're not doing like multiple day LAN party, and then take it back to your house and reset it up. They don't understand. They're like, why not just play over Discord and play online? If you don't understand the difference between being in person, playing with your friends versus playing over the internet with just a voice, maybe a webcam, but being able to physically interact with them, being able to cook food together, to order pizza and just sit around talking, hanging out. If you think it's only about playing computer games, then I don't know if there's any convincing you of like why LAN parties are special and so much more fun than simply playing games online with your friends. If that makes sense. Those people have no friends. Maybe. I mean, I think one of the biggest issues is a lot of people do have friends, but their friends don't share the same interests, or like they've moved on, right? I mean, if you think about it, is it pretty cringe that I'm a 35-year-old, almost 36-year-old person who still like loves video games and like nerdy stuff and computers and all that? I would hope not, because there are people even older than me that love all this kind of stuff. But so I think there are some people who may look at that situation and be like, why haven't you grown up? It is definitely more accepting now than it was like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, for someone, to have their main hobby being like video gaming. Definitely way more acceptable now. But I would say a lot of people, aside from my LAN party group, like my college friends and stuff that I used to also game with, a lot of them have, moved on from gaming or don't game nearly as much as they used to and things like that, which is totally fine. You have other responsibilities, you move on to other things. But a lot of people have left comments on my LAN video saying, none of my friends game anymore, or all my friends have moved away due to work, or, life takes you wherever it takes you. So it's not that people don't have friends. It's just their friends have moved on from gaming or just aren't willing to go through the hassle of putting together a LAN party. Because if you think about it, it does take time and effort. Us throwing a LAN party is not just like, oh, hey guys, this weekend we're going to do a LAN party. No, we planned that out in advance. We have our next LAN party, the date already set. We're starting to talk about what food and stuff we want to do. I need to make sure, you know, that we're doing it at my house again. We're flipping it. Next LAN is going to be in my house, so it's back to back my house, and then the second LAN this year is going to be somewhere else. But like, yeah, we have to plan well in advance, like what day it is, because you know people have trips that they take on weekends or vacations, like out of the country. To try to coordinate LAN parties, the bigger the group, the more difficult it gets. The logistics of it, as well as planning 12 different adults' schedules. Are you kidding me? You know how busy people get? Whether they have to attend somebody's wedding, they have some event with their kids, concerts they're going to. I don't know what the hell adults do. I mean, I have my fair share of, you know, get-togethers and whatever that blocks up my weekends too. So coordinating 12 to 15 grown adults, what weekend that is available, that nobody has anything going on, because we want to try to incorporate as many people as possible, but that never happens. We are always missing some people, but we pick the best date possible. That's just difficult to do. So, yeah. Josh, you run says super cringe. But I'm just kidding. I'm quite older than you. Okay, Retro Vet 357. What up, Retro Vet? Did you end up going to Micro Center and waiting? I remember. You were the one with the. I don't remember. Wait, did you have the 7900 XTX? And you're trying to get a 5080 or 5090 from last week, right? Did you end up, and you're retired, so you can go and wait at Micro Center? It's not like, we can't make fun of you, but we can make fun of all the other people who are just scalping and have no lives and do it. But you're retired, so it's more reasonable. But thanks for this $5 super chat. And you're saying, my best LAN party ever was deployed in Iraq 2008. We had a room set up for 10 of my friends to play COD. So much fun. That sounds awesome. And yeah, I mean, if you look at it, let's see. Military LAN party. I bet you there's pictures of this. Of like soldiers in their tents and stuff. Well, so here's some here, but I want to see the tent itself. Alright, this looks like AI. I don't know if this is a real image. But, I'm trying to find out of like military, a tent in Iraq or something. This looks like an office. Like Middle East. So here's another one. But is there any military tent LAN? Okay, so there's military tent LAN parties that people throw where, you know, they're outdoor LAN parties. They actually have one here in Washington. I wasn't able to make it this previous summer, but I want to go one of these days. People buy these old school military tents and they do the LAN parties. But I'm trying to find one of like straight up like service members in the Middle East. There's got to be a picture. Let's see, Army LAN party. We're getting close to it, but I'm trying to find. Maybe if you're in like the direct, you know, front lines, having a LAN party is not the best idea. I wouldn't be surprised that it happened, but maybe there's not much documentation on it. So, LMAO during World War II. Oh, I didn't even look at the picture. I just saw the dude sitting in the other guy's lap. Oh, okay, here we go. I didn't even read the label. Lol. World War II soldiers doing a LAN party on the beach during D-Day. Yeah, I didn't even look at the actual like gear that they had, and you know, like the aquatic vehicles and stuff like that. I just saw like, okay, I instantly thought AI, obviously, because this wouldn't be a real image unless it was Photoshop with a bunch of different things. But this dude sitting in the lap, I just wrote it out. But that's pretty funny. But yeah, we've gone on a tangent about the LAN parties. I apologize. We are almost 2 hours in the stream. I mean, we've already looked at the 5070 is coming out one day before the 9070 XT. Let's wrap this up. AMD, there's such... Is weasel's the right word for this? The launch date for the 9070 and 9070 XT is March 6th, next Thursday. One day after the day that the 5070s are going to be available. I don't know if their strategy is to like do some last minute price changes depending on what the 5070 looks like, but like that was intentional, obviously. They did not just randomly decide, oh, let's release them on March 6th without knowing anything about NVIDIA's release schedule, right? A March 6th release date when NVIDIA is releasing on March 5th, totally intentional, and we'll see what they do. Are they going to do the typical AMD strategy of what does NVIDIA have at the same performance level? Let's knock $50 off and hope people... If anything, that strategy might work this time around. It hasn't worked in the past because, you know, NVIDIA had not fallen from the good graces of people that much yet. But this, the 5090, 5080, 50 Ti launch, I think people are pissed. They're ready to make the switch to Team Red. So if AMD comes in with that strategy, $50 less than NVIDIA, $50 to $100 less, you know, depending on what the card is, just coming in at, if you look at it from, we gotta normalize it FPS per dollar, right? If they're coming in at 10 to 15% better than NVIDIA for the same amount of money, which it's looking like they might, again, it gets muddy when you start looking at ray tracing performance, but if you look at raw raster, it's, they have a good chance to win like more market share. But as much as I'm going to be doing my Intel Arc B 580 in my personal build and stuff, NVIDIA just launched like their latest edition of Studio, and I'm going to have to say, as somebody who creates content and somebody who streams weekly, like I consider the stream very integral to my channel, and I hope you guys do too, even though we don't get, you know, post-stream viewership is like 2,000 to 3,000 views, if that. And during the streams, we average anywhere from 100 to, let's say, 200 if like the topic is really hot for the week. I still consider, you know, with those performance numbers, the stream integral to what I do here on YouTube. And NVIDIA just knocked it out of the park with their NVIDIA Studio. Like, their AI, in terms of, like, green screening, masking, which I would love to do. Like, imagine if we go to this browser scene, and I can make myself bigger and green screen. I have a green screen, but I have to lug it out, and then when I put it up, like some of it isn't green screened out, and when I put my arm this way, it gets cut off because of the green screen cropping. Having the AI is getting good enough where just like the graphics card being able to like mask you out of your background. NVIDIA is just, it's not even comparable to AMD. NVIDIA is just dominating there. RTX voice for if the vacuum cleaner starts running or like a plane flies overhead or just whatever's going on in the background, suppressing all that noise and making sure only my voice comes through the mic, NVIDIA is killing it in that. And then that's just streamer specific stuff, which I know it doesn't apply to the majority of users out there, because, you know, there are, I don't even, what would you guys even guess? If you had to look at the ratios of gamers versus gamers who are streamers, what do you think that percentage breakdown looks like? Do you think it's even a 90-10 split? I guess, do you count a streamer who gets 0 to like 1 viewers who's streaming to nobody but is still streaming? Do you count that in that? Even let's be generous and count those people. Even people streaming to 0 viewers, which I'm not putting them down. You know, you gotta grind, you gotta hustle to grow. Everybody starts at 0 at some point, unless they had a following from like Twitter or YouTube and then started streaming. But if you are starting streaming from scratch, everybody starts from zero, maybe 1 or 2 if your mom and dad or cousin or friend is watching. Let's count those people. What do you think the split is between people who stream gaming and people who just game without streaming? Oh yeah, I can't do a poll on this because there's too many, but I'm gonna give very low numbers though. What do you think % of streamers to non? Okay, let's so we'll do like 10-90 split. We'll do, oh no, we gotta even do smaller than that. Like, let's do 590. 595, 1090, 15, 85, and then, I'm gonna throw this off. I'm gonna do 1 to 99 at the bottom. I don't think the numbers are gonna be that much more than that. If I had to guess, people streaming. For every 100 people, how many do you think? Every 100 gamers that exist in the world, including people in third world countries, and you know, I'm saying the world, not just the U.S. Like people of all ages, whether it be, you know, 10-year-olds with their crappy PC that their parent bought them just so they can play Roblox, to people on like $5,000 rigs. We're incorporating everybody. What is the ratio? It's gotta be 1 to 99. It has to be. For every one streamer or anyone who even attempts to open up OBS and to stream on Twitch or YouTube, for every one of those people, regardless of their view count, 0 or like 100,000 viewers watching them, 1 to 99 is what I'm thinking, gut feeling. I don't know how you could ever get this data, right? Because even if you were to do a survey, unless you survey every country and every age group, you're gonna be totally skewed. Like in the US, because of how good, you know, good we have things and how cheap hardware is and how all that stuff, there's probably a higher percentage of people trying to stream in the US compared to, say, you know, freaking Thailand or something. I don't know. Think of any second or even third world country. Like streaming and the ability to stream with like stable internet connection, with decent enough gear, not only streaming gear, but also decent enough computer, there's like a barrier to entry to it. There's no way it's double digit for sure. So it's anywhere between 1 to, if it's even 1%. Might be less than 1, I don't know. Way less than 10%, says Mike. I'm thinking like 20, 30, says NYC Potatoes. Many people aspire to stream. This decision comes to mind when they are buying GPUs. The real answer, 1 to 99. The amount of people who think they will... This is a good point, Jason. The amount of hardware I've bought from OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace, from people who thought they wanted to get into streaming, they bought all this gear and then either ended up never even using it. I bought gear from people who got, you know, super excited, got ready to stream, and couldn't get themselves to press the stream button. Or they got into it, didn't see that explosive growth that, like, I don't know, think of your Ninja or whatever. I just said Ninja. That's such an, like, I feel like boomer answer. Ninja has not been the top streamer in so long. Right now it's like Kai Cenat and those guys, but in terms of gamer streamer, I don't like Tyler One's doing pretty good. The OTK crew, because WoW recently has things. But anyways, like everyone wants to be one of those top level streamers that become millionaires in the course of a year. They don't want to put in the effort and grind. Most of those streamers actually did not. Some of them grew up. Or not grew up. Some of them exploded in the span of a year. But a lot of them have been grinding for like 5, 6, 7 years or something. And got up to the point they are now. But people don't want that. People want a quick and easy, you know, millionaire status streaming career. So they try it for like, I don't know, however long. They're stuck at 0 to 4 viewers for a whole year. And then they quit. And they don't adapt. They don't learn to improve, and then they quit, and then they sell their gear to me, and I buy it at like, you know, 50% of the cost of what I could have gotten from Amazon for. Off the top of my head, what have I bought from streamers? I bought one of my main Canon cameras from someone who wanted to start vlogging on YouTube, my Canon T8i. Normally, with the lens and after tax and stuff, that probably would have been like $800 or something. I bought like $400. And I used that as my main camera for several years. I bought a Yeti, a Blue Yeti mic that would have gone easily for, you know, $80 or so, for $30 on Facebook Marketplace from someone who thought they wanted to get into streaming. There's more gear that I bought. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but yeah. Thanks for bringing up that point though, Jason. So many people want to be a streamer or think they want to be a streamer until they start being a streamer. And then they don't stick it out. 5 to 10 could be if you include any gamer that has tried uploading a gaming... Yeah, I mean, as soon as you start including the people who start making use of like the Adrenaline software or NVIDIA Studio, stuff that like just simply lets you record and then upload that recording to YouTube, which YouTube is filled with that content. gameplay footage where there's not even any like commentary, there's no face cam, literally just random gaming footage with like single digit view counts from people uploading stuff that nobody watches, which is fine if they want to use it as an archive. YouTube is such a crazy platform if you think about it. It is essentially free, unlimited storage, obviously compressed, right? A video uploaded to YouTube is compressed compared to the native file on your computer, but you could just upload everything on your phone, camera reel, anything that you've ever recorded to YouTube under a private channel, have all the videos unlisted or privated, just to clear up storage on your devices. Even though you know, people take pictures and videos of concerts and stuff, and they always say, you never look at that crap again. Like, why do you even do it? You can upload all that, what we would call useless footage that you are never going to care about or look back again. And, for free on YouTube, and somehow it's just a thing you can do. It blows my mind. As a content creator and as someone who's a digital file hoarder, I appreciate that. But at what point are we gonna have so much data and video and stuff? YouTube's, I don't remember if they started putting a cap on it or like limitations. Like if you're a fresh YouTube account, do you guys know, like, have you tried uploading a crap ton to YouTube? Do they limit, like, you can't post 4K stuff? Or, I know once, you have to get YouTube membership to get some special features from YouTube and things like that. But for, like, a fresh, brand new account, is there a cap as to how many gigabytes of videos you can upload? Last I checked, I wasn't aware that there was a cap. But how can they support this as the population of people continually to increase, as cell phones and footage just gets better quality and more readily available to the common person? How can they support potentially, I wouldn't say billions, because I don't know how many people like use YouTube in like individuals and how many of those actually upload, but how can they support a constantly growing amount of data that is just becoming higher quality at the same time? At some point, they're going to have to put a cap, kind of like how Google Drive has a cap on how much you can upload unless you start paying money, or reserving it for channels with like X amount of subscribers. Like, let's say you have to reach at least 1,000 to get unlimited, or just have like payment plans, right? Like they'll probably never charge content creators because content creators bring them enough money that it will offset the cost of storage. But for like the average person posting these 4K, like all these 4K footage of things that get no views and bring YouTube zero money, monetization wise, like, what's their plan there? You have to verify your account to upload videos longer than 15 minutes, phone verification. Yeah, but that's easy. Anyone can verify their phone account and then upload useless, I'm not gonna say useless, I should be nicer, upload videos that get close to no views and are not monetizable and does nothing for YouTube except keeping, is that it? The customer is the product. Even though these people are posting videos on YouTube that get no views, they are staying on YouTube and watching and consuming and watching ads. So that's how they're a part of the system and pay for their storage. But even then, man, I don't know. It seems like it's going to reach a point where it's not going to be manageable. Irrelevant, that's a mean word. Especially all those shorts videos that don't usually have an ending and they still have physical hard drive with moving parts. Yeah. No warning yet, not up for the, let's see. It's because it still works and you don't get paid to start. Wait. Sorry, I went on my rants and all that stuff. If we look at the poll, less than half of the people say a 1 to 99% ratio of people have voted. If you didn't vote, please vote. I now that I'm thinking about it, I would say 1%, which is being generous, or less, people who stream. Streamers shouldn't be in the same box as regular consumers of computer parts and software, though. You're right, because again, they're not like the mass of the market. but NVIDIA, I don't know. As a content creator and a streamer, I appreciate those things that NVIDIA brings, and there's definitely value to them. Are you kidding me? Like, as good as you know, AI green screening and like cleaning up your mic quality has become, you know how much you actually have to spend in real hardware to do that, and how inconvenient it is to set up more devices to have your graphics card do the job like 99% of the way for a fraction of the cost. That's like so valuable. But you're right. The average gamer couldn't care less about that. So when they compare an NVIDIA and AMD card, to them, those things are worthless. Whereas to anyone who's in content creation, that NVIDIA card that's the same raster performance to AMD, but it costs, let's say a $500 card, but it costs $100 or $150. Bro, are you telling me I can pay only $150 more to get a graphics card that has really good quality noise suppression, has really good quality green screen effect, has AI capabilities that are well beyond AMD? Because as much as we hate the AI buzzword, running stuff locally on your machine, people are starting to do that. If you could not have to use like Midjourney and all these other like online resources and just be able to generate images and like, you know, prompts and stuff like that locally without an internet connection, there is inherent value to those things. But because only 1% of the people are interested in or find value in that, the conversation is always that, oh my God, I just realized I'm sounding like an NVIDIA show right now. I feel like everything I'm saying is objective. Like, I don't want to be a shill to any company, and I try my best to remain unbiased and neutral. But I'm coming from a real use case for me and others like me, where NVIDIA is just like the no-brainer choice. But it's funny because 99 or most of the PCMR, you know, they don't see that. And I'm guilty of this too, because when I make videos for most people, I make videos for gamers. So at that point, I do that rare, you know, raster to raster, side-by-side comparison. But when I take a step back, while trying to remain as unbiased as possible, gotta put that disclaimer there, because people are so quick to call you NVIDIA or AMD fanboy or shill. Just, even if you're stating cold hard facts, that one product, even though it's more expensive, may still be a better value than the other. Like, it's, yeah. And I understand, you know, that's just a narrative that's going around right now. People are looking to be angry. People are looking to be outraged. So when a content creator releases a video that has a fire in the thumbnail and a thumbs down saying waste of sand on the next graphics card that comes out, people are watching that like no other. That's going to be the highest viewed one out of any other, you know, videos for a same review. People are quick to race to the comments like, yeah, screw X company, let's get this company. It's just like the tribalism and the need to constantly be mad about something. That's just the current state of what I feel anyways, the, you know, PC master race or the PC building and tech community. You've never looked more handsome, Jason. The actual NVIDIA show, Jason right here, is complimenting me because I'm talking good about NVIDIA. Not all AI is bad. That is true. We've gotten to the point. I just spent last night to try to improve my YouTube shorts. You know those subtitles for YouTube shorts, how they like do the karaoke effect? Doing that by hand is like impossible. You're wasting time. There's so many programs out there like CapCut. Jason told me about one called Opus Clip, and then I found another one that they will auto caption for you and have that cool karaoke effect. And I've been playing around with them to make my YouTube shorts better quality, and so I can release them at a faster rate, because doing captions is so slow. They use AI. They use AI to detect the words that you're saying, and then they use it to apply it to the captions and, you know, to know when to transition. to me, if NVIDIA can also have that in their graphics card so I can run locally and not have to pay these stupid companies like $20 a month subscription to use them. Everything's a subscription nowadays. If NVIDIA can do that, I am paying $200, $300, $400 more for the same level of card, but to get the NVIDIA card. If alone it can do captioning for my YouTube shorts. Because the time saved, my goodness. I'm not saying I'm going to release as many shorts as Zach from Zach's Tech Turf, because that man is a machine. He releases, I think it's 3 shorts a day. I don't know if he's increased or changed that number, but imagine doing 3 YouTube shorts a day, doing captions 7 days a week. That's 21 shorts. The amount of time is mind-boggling. You need AI. And I think Zach does it using the Premiere Pro one, but I found that to not be as accurate and it still needs too much intervention. So that's why I've been looking to some of these other AI things. But yeah, AI, I think we're going to reach kind of like an inflection point where it goes from everyone hating AI to being like, okay, AI is making my life, way more convenient. Whether it be self-driving cars, whether it be, I guess, what are the AI use cases aside from like generating images, writing your homework, writing your essays, writing your college applications, all those things. I mean, people probably use them and won't admit to it, but spit out some things in the chat. What are the use cases of AI? Because all my AI use cases are specific to content creation, which again, we're talking about less than 1% of like everybody out there, not even just PC gamers. But music, so for me, there's still that whole moral dilemma between AI with music and art, right? Everybody loves Midjourney or ChatGPT or DALL-E, whatever the heck engine you want to talk about, or AI model. Everybody loves it except for the artists. And I can see why. If you are a musician or someone who creates physical digital media, whether it be painting, drawing, whatever the heck, and an AI machine just studied all your stuff and all the other, everybody else's stuff out there, and then created something based on that, it's not directly copying your homework, but influenced by your homework in the span of less than a minute to generate these images. And it takes a real artist anywhere from, an hour to even days. You're talking about some of these like hand painted, super detailed, hand pencil drawn sketches. Your job is in danger, basically, right? So I can understand. And do we really want all the like real human musicians and artists and all of them? Even we're getting to the point where video editing too. Like video editing for a long time is like a special art, but if AI can get rid of video editors and just like, just produce something, it's gonna be a long time until AI gets to like, you can't distinguish the difference, but we're getting close, and close is all you need to get to with how much slop brain rot content is on like YouTube and stuff. But yeah, do we really want actual artists and musicians and stuff to be out of a job? Because once they become completely obsolete, if they ever do, maybe they won't ever, even if AI takes over the art and like music and stuff industry, you'll always still have people who love creating. Maybe they won't share their stuff anymore though, because they don't want it to be sucked up by AI. Maybe you can only see it in person at an art exhibit and you can't take a picture of it. Like, it's kind of a scary road we might potentially be walking down, where of course, as a non-artist, it is nice to type in a chat GPT and get this artist looking image in 1 minute. But if that displaces all the real artists and musicians out there and nothing like actual creative can be made, the AI is only as good as what humans are. If humans don't have a reason to create new or unique art and music anymore, AI doesn't have a pool to pull from and learn from anymore. So I don't know. The AI, it's a very touchy, very complex, complicated topic. I have limited knowledge of it, but again, I try to do as best as I can to learn about it and the implications of it moving forward. I think for something like a green screen, though, there's no moral dilemma there, right? If I'm buying like a $200 pull-up green screen from Amazon, or it automatically masks me. There's not much about me taking other people's jobs, except for those video editors who have to manually mask things. I think they would even appreciate it, because then they don't have to manually do the masking themselves. But when you talk about just like in general video editing done by AI, which I've seen, that Opus clip thing that Jason told me about, what you do is, all you do is you feed it, like let's say this, I could feed it my stream, and it will spit out X amount of clips edited. It will reframe it. It will add these captions that we all love, because for some reason when we're watching shorts, we love seeing karaoke captions alongside of it. It will take a normal thing like this and do a pretty damn good job reframing it for like short form content. Like when there's two speakers, it'll split it and have both of their faces on the screen. Something that used to take a human to manually do. And the captions are the most valuable part to me, because doing captions by hand is the most tedious thing. The editing and stuff, yeah, it can get tedious, but not as much as karaoke captions. So yeah. Putting Elgato out of business with a green screen, bro. That is true. No, there will always be a good physical use case for a green screen, because again, AI gets close, but it's not the same thing. You've seen, I think Harris Heller had a video recently about it. Actually, NVIDIA Studio, they have a thing where they can imitate. I gotta show you this, because I feel like a lot of people hear AI and they think like the worst things about it. But Senpai Gaming. But when I saw this was crazy. Okay, so if you guys don't know, this is Harris Heller, a streaming content creator. Like he covers streaming stuff, and in this video he's talking about fake microphone effects and spotlights. I don't want to play the video, because every time I play a video, I get like copyright struck, and my entire stream becomes unmonetizable. I know we don't make that much money here on the streams, but if I have a 3-hour stream and I play a 20-second clip of some copyright content, it is complete BS that YouTube takes all my monetization away, when I had effectively three hours worth of other work that I've done, or like, you know, of my content, and they take it all away for 20 seconds. Less than 1% of the whole stream had copyrighted content, and they take 100% of my monetization. In that aspect, YouTube can go F themselves. But if we look at this, so, okay, I'm going to explain it to you because I don't want to get copyright struck. NVIDIA's Studio, you know, when you are close to a mic versus far away from it, it sounds dramatically different. That is why I have this mic attached to my head, because in the past, when I've gotten up, oh yeah, and this tracking stuff too. In the past, when I've gotten up and gone over here, my voice starts to drift and I get quieter and it gets echoey. NVIDIA, their Studio app, when you do that, it can keep your microphone sounding consistent. I had to go out and buy a wireless mic versus this mic, which I don't even use anymore because of how often I'm moving around and getting my distance different from the mic. I went out and bought a mic specifically for that. This is the actually no, this is the one that Melissa got me for Christmas. I have another one, but these aren't cheap. NVIDIA, if you're buying their graphics card anyway, you get the software that's included with it that can make it so that that's not a problem anymore. Again, I understand this is a 1%, less than 1% use case, and y'all out there aren't streaming and recording content, but I think you can still appreciate it, right? The fact that the software even does this. And I wanted to look at the light one. They have it where, like, it could imitate you having like a spotlight on you, even though you don't. I want to see. Does he not show like a side by side comparison? Oh, here it is when he's messing with it. So like he's like playing with the settings, and this is only gonna get better. He just flipped on something, and it was like, you guys want to see what I'm running like for my lighting? Let me see if I can show it. If I'm ready for this. Look at all this stuff I have. Like, this is my stream setup. You guys have seen this before, but I'm just trying to give you guys an example of like, behind the scenes, there's things that you see going on that, you know, if we do it good enough as streamers, you'll never know. Here's the receiver. You guys can see as I'm talking. This is where the wireless white mic goes into. I used to use that, but like I explained, I stopped because of the sound inconsistencies when I'm like, you know, moving around, or when I'm doing stuff like building a PC on the side. Yeah, that all affects it. This tracking AI, some cameras, some of them aren't actually AI, but depending on which one you buy, it actually incorporates that. So this is taking the camera ops job away. Yeah, okay. Or clip to a hat, something lower. Wait, what do you say, New York? Oh, okay. Or clip to a hat. Sometimes lower isn't as good. Oh, wait, I might have missed something. Sorry, I'm going on these tangents and rants. Hopefully it's entertaining at least, and you guys are having good discussions. I need to focus on chat the last part of the stream. We are 2.5 hours in the stream. I showed you guys almost no love because, I don't know. I don't know if starting to talk about the ADHD just put something in my mind that, okay, now that people know, it's okay for me to just rant and go on tangents and go completely off the walls. But I'm realizing it a little late, 2.5 hours in the stream, that I did not show chat nearly as much love as I normally do. So we're going to focus on chat. So what do we do? What do we do when AI does everything? You can do anything you want. It just probably won't be monetizable, right? You could read books, you can learn, take up hobbies, but in the world we live in, everybody wants to make money for their time spent because our time is so valuable. And, you know, think about this. Do you really want to go and work 8 to 10 hours a day, have to sleep 8 hours, and then only have and then you gotta, like, you know, do all the things as an adult, whether it be maintain your house, take care of your kids, etc. You only have so much time for your hobbies, right? So imagine if you could just not go to work, spend all that work time, that like 8 to 10 hours. Do you really want to be working at McDonald's, stocking shelves at the grocery store? Which I'm not putting anybody down, by the way. We need those. But I guess if robots take that over, then people can go out and do whatever they want. AI doesn't work if it displaces people in their jobs, but we don't have any way to support those people who are now not working, because not everybody's art, not everybody's music, not everybody learning a second language is a monetizable skill. If you watch, was it WALL-E? I've actually never seen WALL-E from start to finish. I just know the concept of it. And in the future, robots do everything. Humans get super fat. They're sitting, looking at a TV, watching TV all day. That's probably a pretty grim outlook. But just answer to yourself. If you didn't have to work, but you still made the same amount of income, what would you do with your free time? That is what you would do if AI does everything. And we are starting to go down that path. The issue is, though, you aren't going to be getting that same income unless somehow universal basic income becomes a thing. But how can you support globally, even if it's not globally, how can you support, even in the US, you know, one of the best places in the world to live, how can you support, what's the population, 700 million or something? Let's see, US population. It's like 800 million. Oh no, oh god, I was double. 300 US population. Is it 300 million? Why was I thinking 700 for some reason? Yeah, it's like 340 million. Obviously, not all of those are adults. U.S. adult population, 18 plus, right? Because that's when, and you can get a job beforehand, but let's just cap that. 18 plus in the U.S. as of 2023, 262 million. All right, those are the adults who are capable working adults that need jobs to become a contributing member of society and to make money to put, pay bills and to put food on the table. If AI took all the jobs, they're not going to take all the jobs. Doctors and like skilled labor and stuff, it's going to be a while till we get to that point. Maybe one day, once we're all dead, everybody in the stream, me, you guys, we're all dead. Maybe skilled labor can be completely replaced by robots and AI. But before that, it's going to be the kind of more like entry-level jobs. Like they're trying to like get rid of McDonald's. They had that one complete automated McDonald's. It's only one, but if that, I don't remember if that was successful or not. But think about those types of jobs, right? Entry-level positions, supermarket shelves. They're already getting rid of so many people ringing you up at the cash register. You actually have to do it yourself now at the machine. But we're talking about AI specifically. I mean, just think of all the like potentially creative writing jobs, art, like 3D rendering and stuff. The AI, what they could spit out in terms of videos nowadays is crazy. If you displace all those and the entry-level jobs, how are you going to pay all those people? Or how are they going to be afford to just survive and live? ChatGPT replaced my therapist. I've never tried it as a therapist. I just saw the other day, 2 AI robots discussing religion. One with an atheist robot, and one was like a Catholic or Christian or something. And it was just a debate between the two with AI voice on it. That was pretty entertaining. But again, I don't know if those are monetizable skills. Maybe if you had a YouTube channel discussing religion or atheism. But for the average person who wants to like learn more about those things, and that's what they're going to free their time up once their job gets displaced by robots and AI. I don't know if you can make money off of that. So yeah. We get to live in RFK's wellness camps. McDonald's, Taco Bell, and Jack in the Box. Here you can't order in person anymore. You have to use the touch screen. Yeah. All jobs just get replaced. Look at self-serve checkouts. They still need people yeah, you will always still need like a manager to manage the robots and AI, or like a human intervention just in case something goes wrong. But there's definitely not gonna be enough jobs if we keep going down the road we're going down. And again, it's not a bad thing, right? Like, especially for physical and manual labor, if you can replace that with machines and smart machines, where people aren't constantly like doing back-breaking work. But if you need less people because machines are doing it, and you need, there's always less supervisors than manual grunts and workers, manual labor and stuff. It's a good thing because humans shouldn't have to dread the majority of their lives until they retire, going to work for 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week, depending on, how lucky you are. If you're lucky, you get weekends off. If you're not, and you're barely making ends meet, you're working 7 days a week. What kind of life is that from 18 till 65 or whatever the, new retirement age might be if it gets pushed up? Like, a lot of people, that's why they call it the rat race. And so many people live unfulfilling lives because that's all they do is work. And they can't find free time or can't find the energy to dedicate it towards what they really want to do. So in a sense, in like, a perfect world, nobody has to work, but everyone will have their basic, minimal needs met, and they can do whatever they want with their free time. And then in that world, ideally, if you want to make supplemental income, then you could like try to sell your artwork or sell your music if you can do it as good or more unique than AI can, right? But yeah. What happens when we started? What happened when we started to outsource jobs? That's a good question. Off the top of my head, I may have seen the answer to that at one point in time, or watched some kind of YouTube documentary, or read up on it. But when jobs started outsourcing, people, I think they just had to downrank. Like, let's say you had an IT position that pays pretty cushy in the US, like let's just say six figures or something, right? Some kind of tech IT tech job, and then they decided to outsource your work, because I've actually had a family member that happened to. Then you had to start looking for jobs that paid less, and maybe even different positions, or completely switch fields, which totally sucks if you've been doing your job for anywhere in any significant amount of time, whether it be like 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and then your job got replaced, not even by AI or by robots, but by cheaper labor, because over in India, you know, the same person can do maybe not as good of a job, depending on what it is. Everybody always complains about, call center, Indian call center people, like when you have to deal with Amazon or something, like the chat and stuff. Like, people always deal with how bad of a like customer service, and just or how bad of an experience that is. But you're getting like 50 to 75% of the same experience as that super expensive US based worker is, except Amazon is probably paying them like a quarter of what they paid the guy in the US. So if you look at it from an experience per dollar spent wise, Amazon is winning. Kind of like the FPS per dollar comparison. If you're paying a quarter for half, even though the experience isn't at 100%, you paid a quarter for it. Experience per dollar, it's still more cost effective, I guess. The Great Reset, supposed to come in 2030. I haven't read much about the Great Reset, or what the latest theory of what the Great Reset is going to look like. But yeah, at some point we're gonna reach too many people being displaced, and either we plan for it now. I don't even know what the planning is looking like right now. For AI has ramped up. Are you kidding me? Have you look at the last, let's just say, 5 years, right? What strides we've made in AI. Now, from those 5 years, look at from that point to the last 10 years. And then from that point, so that would be from 5 years was 2020. So look at 10 years from 2010 to 2020, and then go 20 years beyond that. Like freaking 1990 versus 2010. Y'all took like a basic, middle school or high school math class, right? It's an exponential curve. It's not linear. It is exponential, growing rocket fast, which is kind of funny, because that's the opposite of Moore's law and GPU hardware, where the generation after generation is actually, it's like linear, kind of like hitting plateau. But in terms of like where AI and stuff, it's a parabolic curve. There's a plan? I know, right? The plan is prepare now. I don't want to sound all doom and gloom, end of the world and stuff like that, because obviously that's not going to be what happens. But it kind of goes back to just the mindset that you have in general. And I want to relate this to PC building, because there's so many people out there, just because they have the disposable income, they're going to buy a $4,000 or $5,000 computer, right? Which, it's your money, do what you want. But like in that situation, like when I'm thinking about that, I'm like, I'm perfectly happy with the $1,000 computer. I would rather stash that money away for a rainy day fund, or maybe put it in the market so it could actually make money for me. Eventually, you're going to want to have either a lot of money stowed away in investments, or in your savings, or whatever the heck, because I think it's going to hit us a lot harder than we realize when a massive amount of people are going to have their jobs displaced. If you are higher, you know, if you have like, let's say an engineering degree, if you're a doctor, I'm trying to think of like, you know, 6-figure plus job coders. I've been seeing recently coders, how quickly like ChatGPT and other, like language models, how quickly they can generate code. We kind of had a bubble with the whole coding thing. Everyone was like, learn to code when you know, your truck driving job got taken over by autonomous driving. But now, all the people went to like those coding boot camps, Code Ninja dojos, or whatever the heck they were called. They went to those, and then sure, they might have landed some kind of coding job. But now, I've been seeing so many coders talk about getting laid off because, you know, tech companies are constantly trying to get year-over-year profit. And if you can get less people to do the same amount of job, because now AI is assisting writing code, and it can do it in the blink of an eye, right? Some high-skilled, or what once was high-skilled tech jobs aren't even safe. Coding specifically, but when it comes to physical stuff, like engineering, you know, building things, while we have a lot of machines to do it, those will be wow. Doctors, I don't know when we're gonna fully trust only robots to be in an operating room, right? Versus actually having a surgeon with a scalpel in their hands. So, you can just hire twice as much staff and you're still on top financially. That's true, and it works because even though people complain about the poor customer, you know, the online chat customer service that Amazon provides, everybody complains about it, but they're not buying any less from Amazon. I mean, there's a small subset of people who have complained that Amazon has gone completely to crap and downhill, and they refuse to buy it. But again, let's look at that 100, like the breakdown pie chart. That's probably like 1% or less than one of the people who vocally go to Reddit and complain like, I've given up and quit Amazon. That's not the majority, right? So Amazon, they're saving money, hiring, outsourcing to India, giving you a less than ideal customer service situation, but you're still buying from Amazon regardless. So why wouldn't they pay the guy in India a quarter of what they would pay the US-based guy? NVIDIA literally said the future is generating, not rasterization. Yeah. And I think it's going to take a while for like consumers to realize that. But I mean, I think NVIDIA also has their hands tied on this as well. It is not just NVIDIA wanting to put in a half-assed job and release something that is like barely better than last generation. We are starting to hit the wall. They should server reset the global economy. Everything goes back to zero and starts over. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Coding AI is big one at the moment. I think like teaching the AI how to work. Who's coding the AI? Yeah. This is like you got the isn't that kind of funny? I mean, I guess we've done that before, like with machines and stuff. Humans beat the machines so that the machines can replace the human. Same thing as coding, except this is more direct because the humans that the machines were replacing were the manual labor people. The people who built the machines and engineered it and stuff, they're not on the same level as like the entry-level manual labor that's being replaced. But the coding, the people coding the AI, I guess they're probably still safe though, because if you are coding AI, you are not even in the same league as just someone who's just, you know, doing whatever else coding. So maybe your job is still safe until the AI gets good enough, but a coder that like people working in AI and developing them are going to eventually displace the jobs of their fellow coders. Thinking about it is too scary. It is pretty scary. The only thing you can hope for is that the progress is like limited or slow enough where we'll be dead before it has any like catastrophic effects. But then if you have children or people in your life who are younger than you that will live longer, if you care about that kind of stuff, then oof, the world that they're going to have or that they're going to, you know, adopt afterwards. Ugh. I hate Amazon. That's here in Australia though. Just poor parts, bad refund service. eBay is way better in my opinion. But that's here. Even buying new stuff? In the US, Amazon is, if you're buying like new, eBay is great for used parts. But if you're buying new and the price was the same between the two, Amazon hands down. Amazon, the return policy is huge because if you buy something that just ends up not working or it's like sucks, returning it is so painless. Or it has been for me anyways. You go on your app, you say, I want to return. They give you a QR code. You go to UPS. You don't even have to talk to the person at UPS. You scan it because they have these kiosk machines. It prints a label. You stick it in this bag, slap the label on, drop it off, and you're done. Like, no human interaction return process. And just a wide variety of products to be able to buy. And pretty good shipping speeds. Anytime I buy from eBay, even if the seller is like in my same state, it still takes longer than Amazon can send it to me. Now, if you consider buying something from the other side of the country, let's say I buy something on eBay from New York, yeah, it's probably not getting to me for like closer to a week. So that's the only issue. And surprisingly, buying little knickknacks like that you can find on Amazon. I recently bought a new tripod for my camera. I could probably find the same tripod for a similar price on eBay, brand new, as the Amazon tripod. But the Amazon one, for the same price and amazingly good return policy that cost me nothing, that was like a no-brainer. Going to the eBay one, not only will it take longer to get to me, if for some other reason I needed to return it, I then have to deal with that eBay seller, and I don't know if they're going to cover return shipping. Amazon, for the most part, almost everything I buy has free return shipping for whatever reason. It would be because they're trying to make it similar to you going to the store. If I went to Target and I bought something, there's no like, as long as I didn't completely destroy it, obviously, right? I can go back and return it within 30 days. If that was not an option on Amazon, that would be pretty sucky, but it's already not really an Amazon. It's really not an option anywhere else. Like Newegg, B&H Photo, all of they have restocking fees, so you don't get all your money back if you decide to return something for whatever reason. Like Newegg, you're gonna like lose some money. If I'm not saying you should just have freedom to change your mind and return willy-nilly, but in those off chances that you do, you're not having to deal with paying return shipping or restocking fees. eBay's buyer protection, I agree with you. God send. If you are buying something used on eBay, I mean, Amazon's pretty good too, because Amazon has the same, same return policy for their renewed, refreshed, refurbished, wherever the Amazon warehouse deals. All those also have return policies too. And I've had to make use of it on like a motherboard that I got that had issues from it. So even though eBay's buyer protection is godsend, just the potential of paying return shipping, restocking fees and stuff on whatever reason you need to return, that makes it less attractive, plus the slower shipping speed. Amazon, because they have so many warehouses everywhere, when you're buying new, it's not even like a comparison shipping speed, eBay between Amazon and that. In the used market, eBay can catch up a little bit more, and I think people like selling on eBay because the fees are better than Amazon. Like, why? People do sell used stuff on Amazon, and it's not sold and shipped by Amazon, but it's sold by, you know, third-party sellers. But compared to eBay, you just have way less of a selection. Why is shipping speed so important? As long as I can track my package, a week wouldn't bother me for most things. Well, you just said most things. I find that if I need to ever buy something from Impulse, it's because I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I had it now. Let me think of, what did I just buy recently? Okay, a tripod. Because I literally just got this today. It's a fluid head tripod. Because mine, the old one, the oil started leaking, so then it stopped being as smooth. But this fluid head tripod, I think I paid like 24 bucks for it or something. probably something drop shipped from AliExpress or China. I got this in, I think I actually got it in one day, because I think it was over 25 bucks, and once you reach the threshold, you get it sent to like overnight. Could I have waited a week for this? Probably. Do I want to wait a week if for the same cost I could get it the next day? No, I'm gonna get it the next day, right? I don't know. Because then I can start using it now instead of next week. I don't need it now, but if this was more expensive, then yeah, I could wait a week for it. But we're talking same price. Why would you pay the same price? I guess if you are really trying to stick it to Amazon by not using them, and for you a week doesn't matter, and you don't need it right away, then yeah, you definitely, shop at locally, or definitely shop on eBay, anywhere that's not evil Amazon. But I don't know. It's funny because I have made comments about people needing stuff right now and all that, and I don't need a tripod right now, but because it was the same price, I was like, I'm getting it right now. We are spoiled. That is a good point. Big D showing off the third leg. TikTok is crazy fast at shipping. I've bought from TikTok before. When TikTok Shop launched with Newegg, they had crazy deals. We're talking, this was like almost 2 years ago, like 12600Ks for around $100, which at that point, those were still going for like 170, 180. RAM kits for like, when it launched, it was crazy good. But since then, I haven't really checked out TikTok Shop. So I don't know like what their prices are relative to Amazon. And do I really want to go through a TikTok return process? Here's a question for you guys in the chat. For anyone who does buy from TikTok Shop, I know my buddy Jesse from the LAN party, he bought that chair from TikTok Shop, but he didn't, it's not like he returned it. So what's the return experience like with TikTok Shop? Is it like Amazon where you get all your money back, so no restocking fees, no return shipping fees? And is it as simple as them giving you a QR code, you go into UPS, you scan it, and you send it back? Law, I ordered my CPU from Amazon. You got me nervous now. If you got your CPU from Amazon, you need to check that out as soon as possible. 99% of the time, you're fine. 1% of the time, you might have gotten a chip that someone delidded and switched with a lower end chip. Let's say you bought a 7800 X3D. They just like, they bought the lowest, maybe 7400F or 7500F, and then they swapped the IHS and then put the, the faulty, or not the faulty, but like the fake. It's not even fake. It's a real. If they wanted to make it look right, they still have to get a CPU from the same like socket and generation. But yeah, people have been doing that for years with the Intel CPUs. They would delid them, swap like an i7 with the i3, keep the i7 base CPU, and return the i3 with the i7 IHS on it. Now I've bought like so many computer components over the years, and I know many of you have as well. You probably never run into the situation. So again, this is like a 1% or less situation that it happens to, but when it happens to you, it sucks. That's why you can't. It is my recommendation that if you buy PC hardware, do not just let it sit around for like months on hand, which I'm bad about because I have stuff in the back. But I have spare PCs, so if something dies or doesn't work, that's fine. But like if you're buying parts, try not to buy it like months ahead of time. Like don't buy yourself a 9800 X3D now and then just leave it sitting on your shelf for months while you wait for whatever graphics card to release. Because one, the CPU could be dead, and then you can't return it within the 30-day return policy for free. Now you gotta deal with RMAing it through, AMD or whatever. And sometimes you can't get it like shipped back and forth for free. You might have to pay some of the cost for the RMA. Like it's mostly shipping. The RMA itself should be free if it's a defective part within the warranty of the product. But I mean, you still have to pay for shipping back and forth. when you could have just returned for free if you knew it didn't work within the first 30 days. But also if someone swapped parts with you. If you bought a 9800 X3D and someone did like a delidding and swapped it, and now it's not the actual core CPU, you think AMD is going to honor that RMA? You think Amazon or Newegg or whoever you bought from is going to take back the CPU now that you're well beyond the 30-day return policy? Probably not. How did they know that you didn't swap the IHS and are trying to scam them, right? So, yeah, that's just one thing I want to say about buying parts well ahead of time. Because I know some people do that. And 99% of the time, it's okay. Statistically, you'll be fine. You could just ignore my advice. But when that 1% of the time happens to you, I guarantee you're going to be running to Reddit or Twitter and you're going to cry about it. And hopefully you can get help if you truly got scammed. But the chances of you, getting helped and getting everything resolved is a lot lower the further out you are from that first 30-day return window. So the lengths people go to scam is because, if you look at the price of a 9800 X3D, what is that, 400? They're going for 480 right now. They're going for MSRP from what they launched at, even this long after they've been released. There's been no price cuts. It's been the top dog gaming CPU, so they don't need to lower the price. People are 9800 X3Ds are still constantly sold out. The only place that has a pretty good stock of them is Micro Center, but even then, they are constantly going in and out of stock. If you live near a Micro Center, you have a higher chance of being able to get a 9800 X3D, but not any day of the week year round. You kind of have to plan and kind of prepare to get one, but it's way easier to get one from there than it is, let's say, Amazon or anybody else in the rest of the country without Micro Center. But yeah. 8 to 10 years ago, the GTX 710 scam was huge. What was the GTX 710 scam? That was when I started the YouTube channel. I was well into computer parts at that point. I know there's a scam. There's scams still going on right now where are you talking about the AliExpress eBay scams where they said they were GTX 750 Ti's and 750 or 760s and stuff like that, but then better cards, and they somehow flash the BIOS to trick GPU Z and other programs into thinking it was a different card, but it ended up being a base GT 710. Is that the scam you're talking about? They would program crap old cards to show. Oh, so they're not programming them to show as 710s and to be better cards. They're trying to pretend that they're 710s, but they're even older cards. Yeah, because once you get into those lower end cards and older ones, they're all single slot, maybe low profile, have dinky looking heat sinks on them. They all look the same at some point. So yeah, okay. I think I remember that being a thing. But imagine how much are GT 710s worth that you're going through all this effort to re-flash it to, trick programs into thinking it's a different card. And you're selling it for GT 710 prices. What's the profit margin on that? Compared to buying a $120 7500F on AliExpress, delidding that, and then reselling it on Amazon for $450 plus as a 9800 X3D. That's a 3x gain right there in terms of scamming. Did I just people already know this blueprint. I'm not revealing some kind of blueprint of how to scam. This has been around. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense, the GT 710 scam versus the 9800 X3D or Intel i7 and i9 delidding scams. But just because I'm talking about this, I don't want to hear any blame or any push towards me that I am perpetuating it or encouraging it. I'm just talking about it. This is a well-known thing. The scammers have already been scamming. People already have known about the scams. They didn't need me to bring this up to then decide, yes, I'm going to scam because Nerd on a Budget talked about it. Not even encouraged it because he brought it up and talked about it. Because if the blood is on my hands for that, then anyone who's ever talked about that scam in a YouTube video, which plenty have, or shared anything like that on Reddit or Twitter and stuff like that, the blood's on their hands too. I don't have that much influence. There's only like 100, a little bit over 100 people watching the stream, so. Wasn't there GPUs with VRAM missing too? There were people selling 4090s straight up with the whole cores and the VRAM ripped out of it. It was just like the bare PCB essentially with like the caps and everything else on it. But the core components that you could easily just shift to somewhere else after you shipped it over to China, because it's not really a graphics card, it's like parts. It's not a complete GPU. I don't know how the shipping and the rules for that was working, and the tax and, you know, and all the added costs for that was. But shipping a graphics card in pieces is different than shipping it as a whole to other parts of the world, where they can just slap a cooler and slap it back into a PCB. At first, I thought Jose Sanchez was saying I scam, which would be bad, but he meant to say L scam. Well, yeah. I remember the 1080 scam where you receive it equal 1030 last 4 years ago. Remember the RTX 3080 scam? Remember that one? Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. If you guys haven't seen this video, I can play this because this is my own content and I won't get copyright struck. I bought the used one when the same one was only 1 penny more. New. Have to choose the green one. And it's a GDDR4 model. I actually made a technical mistake on that video. It was the DDR4 model, not GDDR4. But yeah. Because there's a GDDR5 and then DDR4. Oh wow, that skit got 71,000 views. That was 4 years ago. So essentially, NVIDIA actually sent me the 3080, but I thought it would be fun to make a skit on it. So that was actually fun. I haven't watched this video pretty much since I released it. When was that? Almost coming up on 5 years, September 2020. Ooh, that's like peak of the pandemic. People were not happy when reviewers and content creators were showing off 3080s, and there was none in sight to buy because of pandemic, production problems, as well as crypto and there's whatever boom it was at that time. But yeah. Guys, what the heck? We cannot make this a regular thing. It is 8 p.m. my time. I've been streaming for 3 hours, okay? We cannot make this a normal thing. The streams are supposed to be 2 hours, and if we go over 2.5 hours. So we are gonna have to wrap up within the next 5 to 10 minutes. As much as can you guys tell? I genuinely love doing this. Every Wednesday, I love turning on the stream, coming here, hanging out with you guys, all you guys over here. Even if I can't interact with you guys on the side one-on-one, I try. Usually I try. I was bad today. I did not pull up many comments today, but I try. I pulled up some. I love doing this, okay? I hope you guys, it's like reciprocal. I hope when you guys come to the streams, every time, even though it's like the same dude sitting at front of the camera, I hope each stream is unique and different enough so that you guys can keep returning week after week. And that even if I go on my ADHD rants, and even if I go over time, we're 3 hours in the stream and we still have a pretty decent viewership, I hope you guys are still having a good time. I mean, we've been doing these streams for how many years now? We still have so many regulars. So I hope that's indicative of, you guys enjoying this as much as I do. And I will try to, just like the LAN parties, I will try to keep the stream, if anything, is an easy thing to do because I do a little bit of prep work and stuff. Like sometimes I have to look up articles or read up on whatever the topic of the week is. But the nice thing about the streams is that it is like off the top. I don't have to pre-script. I don't have to record. I don't have to edit, release. I turn on record. I do the stream. Afterwards, I shut off the stream. I go have dinner, hang out with my wife. And now we're going to get a lot of YouTube Shorts clipping the streams. I have a dedicated YouTube Shorts editor now. His name is Droptimus. Sometimes he's in chat. He's in the Discord server. He's doing a really good job. But we're working on all these streams. I stream for 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours every single week. At the end of it, we peak viewership at like, again, 100 to 200 viewers. And then afterwards, the VODs get 2,000 to 3,000 views. There is so much that happens in these streams that just people don't ever watch or get to see. That's where YouTube Shorts comes in, because I feel like these streams have a lot of clippable moments and like little topics of discussion that we have that, I mean, each stream easily can be 10 plus. Like, what did we talk about this stream? People being displaced, NVIDIA, me being an NVIDIA shill or not. There's so many clippable moments from this stream to be turned into YouTube Shorts. So that's what I'm trying to work on, just to get more out of these streams, because it is a little bit disheartening to see that none of my streams ever perform like super well. I don't think they rarely break like 3-ish thousand views. So let's repurpose them, get into the YouTube Shorts algorithm, and redirect the trajectory of this channel, because for a while, even still now, viewership is not the best. I know we talked about it in depth last week, but come on, guys. Like, compared to my colleagues, like any of my other colleagues making similar content, why my viewership is like abysmal, I need to take advantage of growth through YouTube Shorts to find new viewers to come to watch the long form content, because I'm putting way too much work into these videos, testing, getting hardware, building systems for it, and $750 budget build. This is a staple of this channel to get less than 10,000 views 3 weeks ago on a hot graphics card, which even if you can't get, I give you alternative suggestions. So this video is still useful even though the B580 is not in stock. I give you 2 alternative GPUs at around the same price, at even better performance or the same performance. So, and if you look at anybody else's B580 build videos and stuff, they're not having viewership problems. So it's not that I did a B580 build. It's that because my channel is knocked so far out of the YouTube algorithm right now that it's my content. I know there's no way you have 300,000+ subscribers and you release a $750 budget build video on new parts and you get 10,000 views over 3 weeks. Look at any of your other favorite PC tech content creators. Could you imagine if that was what happened when they released a video? Something's not right. So yeah, we need to change course, do some focusing on YouTube Shorts, and hopefully that helps everything out. Do you think it's easier to pop up on TikTok? No. It's you can grow on TikTok, and I need to grow on TikTok. This is what I need to do. I need someone to manage my TikTok where every time I upload something to YouTube, it goes to TikTok with the exact same captions and titles and stuff. And then I just need to give them like 50% of the rev split or something. Because you've seen it. There are massively popular TikTokers that when they come to YouTube, it doesn't translate well. And then everybody who's doing well on YouTube, if you look comparatively on TikTok, their numbers are not as high, right? So it's something about TikTok is like ultra zoomer, like, you know, it needs to be as short as possible, and I don't want to like offend anybody, but it needs to be as close to brain rot content as possible. Whereas YouTube, because they do mix long form and short form content in it, like people who do well on YouTube Shorts, they're not doing equally as well on TikTok. There's going to be a viewership disparity and growth disparity. But same thing with people who have TikTok. I'm trying to think of some of the channels that are like the biggest on TikTok. When they come over to YouTube and still post equivalently, you know, YouTube Shorts content, when they go to long form, they're screwed. Look at some of the biggest TikTokers and look at their long form video views compared to their short form stuff from TikTok, and then they lose viewership when they post it as short form on YouTube. And then anytime they decide to be adventurous and do a long form video, we're talking like these people who have like 4 or 5 million subscribers because of their growth on shorts, and then they upload a long form content video that gets like 5,000 views. The disparity between the different types of video content, it's crazy. The algo is wild. Zoomer watching Nobe, boring. Okay, let me look at this. Let me see if I can find this comment. Someone left a video, left a comment, and then we'll go page down. And there's somebody who defended me. Whoops. Let's see. Interest. Where was it? So I'm getting a decent amount of comments on this newest video, but the viewership is actually lower. I want to find the comment because this is exactly what we're talking about. And then one of my viewers, or maybe he's not even one of my viewers, I don't remember who responded, but someone else who was a viewer. Oh, here it is. I found it. Freaking anonymous guy with a for like not even a real profile picture. 60 seconds in and you have not hooked me. I ended the video and selected do not recommend channel. I'm sorry, but my time is valuable. Bro, I thought the hook of this video was pretty decent. Do not build this PC, gaming PC. Is that not a good hook? I thought my thumbnail, which I created by myself, by the way. I've been hiring thumbnails out, but I'm trying not to do that as much because I need to get my thumbnail game up. I thought the recent video was gonna do good. The fact that it's stagnating right now, given if any of my, you know, content creator friends or like my buddies, if they release that same video, I know they would get way more than 12,000 views by this point. So I think it's some algorithm, also some of these Zoomer guys, but look at this response. Sorry that TikTok has destroyed your concentration span, which I feel to be true. See, I'm sorry if this person is a regular viewer of mine. I can't keep track of like everybody. But this person, they might not even be a viewer of mine like normally. They might have also randomly stumbled on my video and not even be subscribed. But the fact that they responded to this person with that, I was like, oh my goodness, thank you. Because I didn't want to have to go in and try to defend myself and reply to this anonymous, no profile picture looking ass person. That dude owns a PC. Yelp review. That's another thing that the kids are on these days. They don't even say ass anymore. They're like, Yelp reviewer looking at. I don't understand that. Like, doing it in real life, maybe, but like to type that out, it's like taking over social media and online. Just remember, if you ever thought you had a bad day, I got killed by Jeff in Marvel Rivals last night. When you say Jeff, you're talking about craft computing, or is there a different Jeff we're talking about? That is the worst. What other Jeffs are there? I don't want to accidentally say, like, forget about a very, prominent Jeff in the tech community. My time is valuable. Spends 9 hours a day gooning. Oh my god. Okay, we're not going to bring that TikTok brain rot terminology into the streams. I don't use TikTok, can't relate. Yeah, I don't use TikTok either. Again, which it's a detriment to me because obviously I can get more viewers if I go cross-platform. And Instagram, I think I have a legit reasoning for not using or having. Instagram, without me doing anything wrong, deleted my account, my original account that I was building up, over the course of, I got deleted a couple of years ago. So by this point, I never focused on Instagram, but I would post on there and I got up to like, I don't know, a couple thousand followers and stuff, but they deleted my account and they have no way of contacting like any real life person to even talk to them about what happened and how I'm legit and like I didn't do anything wrong, and if I did, it was because I got hacked without knowing. And like there's nobody, because at YouTube, at least once you get to a certain size, they will like help you out. Like if you're a prominent person or whatever the heck. I don't say I'm prominent, but I got the check mark, so there's that. But like on Instagram, like there's just no customer support. So I did start a new Neuron Budget 2 or something Instagram account, but like I'm so afraid that they will just randomly delete my account again. Why am I going to put any effort into it? TikTok, I don't think that'll be a problem. TikTok is there's porn and like really bad stuff on TikTok, and people are going to get banned for that. So I'm not afraid about being banned from TikTok. So I need to upload to TikTok adjacent to when I upload to YouTube. Like I'm making the shorts anyways. I hate TikTok. So it's kind of like Twitch. That's why I don't dual stream to Twitch. I don't like Twitch. And I don't want my viewers to be watching me from Twitch. I want them to watch me from YouTube. But yeah, that's not the reason why I'm out of the algorithm though. Because some of my other friends who don't even stream, they're only posting long form on YouTube and they're doing just fine. So yeah. Oh, Jeff the Shark. Okay. Yeah, see, I thought you were talking about craft computing. I use Instagram, but not Facebook these days. I don't use TikTok either. I'm too old, Mark Zuckerberg tends UFC, so he won't ban anyone at least for the next couple of years. Instagram Reel feed been wild since yesterday. You talking about with like the thirst trap content? Just focus more on Twitch and YouTube. I'm not even on Twitch. I've talked about this so many times. Twitch is a garbage streaming viewership experience on stream, depending on what you prioritize. I prioritize my viewers. If they wanted to, they can go watch my complete backlog of streams, which YouTube stores and saves, whereas Twitch gets rid of it after like 30 days or something, right? So I guess you can download it and then we'll upload it to YouTube, and then your Twitch viewers gotta watch on YouTube. But also, let's say I went to take a piss or something during someone's stream and I missed like 30 seconds. How long do people pee for? I don't count myself peeing. So let's say you wash your hands. Let's say you miss like a minute or two of content, grabbing a snack and going to the restroom. The only way to roll back the stream to see what you missed out on, you know, like the timeline bar, is to go and pretend to clip what happened, because then it shows you the timeline, and then you only have like a certain amount of time you could clip from the past. Like, bro, if someone attended the stream an hour late, let them rewind it and watch it from the beginning, like, and see what they missed. So that's my biggest complaints about Twitch. So in terms of the viewing experience in that way, YouTube is better. But Twitch, they say, and I guess you could agree, the community experience is better. So like with regards to donations, subscriptions, stuff like that, the emojis that you get on Twitch, like what do they call those? Rolling subscriptions or donations, or hype trains, is what, all that kind of stuff. If you're into like the flashiness and throwing away your money at streamers, I guess that's a better experience. But, or if you love watching other people throw away their money towards hype trains and subscriptions and all that stuff, which I'm kind of being a hypocrite because I enabled memberships, but I don't think it's the same level, right? I'm not getting hundreds of donos, thousands of donos per stream. I'm getting like maybe a couple of membership joins and then like a couple of super chats. If I was on Twitch, I don't know if my core audience would even take part in that type of activity, because we're all budget conscious people, right? We don't just have like tons of money to throw at a streamer who's already providing free content. So yeah, that's the Twitch versus YouTube thing for me. But because maybe I'm just old boomer status, I don't care about hype trains and like all the flashiness of the chat from Twitch. I just like being able to view past streams and being able to rewind or fast forward through any part of the stream that has already existed anytime at my leisure if I'm watching a stream. So that's the Twitch versus YouTube like outlook for me, and why I don't stream on Twitch. Twitch also has so many ads. Ooh, this is a big one, Robert Fixit. Thank you for bringing this up. So I have YouTube Premium. I don't pay for it by myself. I'm a part of a family plan of people who aren't actually family members, but friends. Jason Whitmer is actually the head of the account. Jason Whitmer in chat. Jason Whitmer, the YouTuber, etc. My buddy. So he owns that account. Ad-free, that YouTube Premium, wherever I pay for it, I forget. It's just not even, I don't even think about it because it's so cheap versus how much value it brings. If I wanted to watch any stream or any long-form YouTube video, which is what YouTube is still known for, I can watch it ad-free experience. So I could watch streamers or content creators who make long-form with 0 ads for the nice price of... How much do I pay you every year, Jason? It's like under $100, right? So less than 10 bucks a month, if that. You tell me what the price... Tell the chat what the price is. But, if I subscribe to Twitch, a specific channel to not get ads for them, or just that general Twitch subscription, which I think it's around the same price, all I can do is watch live stream content. What? To me, the Twitch 0 ad viewership experience makes no sense. Or it just seems like way less value than YouTube, where you can watch both live streams and long form videos for X amount of dollars a month, or the same X amount of dollars a month. You can only watch live streams, and you can only watch them while they're live, because again, the rewind function sucks. And if you wanted to watch archived stuff, it's not saved on the platform, but you get to be surrounded by people who are constantly throwing money at the streamer and hype trains and stuff like that. So that's end of YouTube versus Twitch streaming rant. That's the thing though, you already have your core audience. If you're trying to grow, probably do both. I guess here's my outlook on it. We already know Twitch when you start growth from 0 on Twitch, the viewership is pretty bad. I'm trying to think. If I had to choose an avenue, focusing on Twitch streams, I don't want to segregate. I've been to the streams of people who dual stream. Chat looks like a mess because you have a bot that's trying to like put both chats into... Okay, here, this is what happens if I start going to Twitch. I can only focus really on one chat or the other. Have y'all ever been, and this is no shade thrown to my buddies, Zach's Tech Turf or UFD Tech. I guess those are my only two kind of like closer YouTube content creator friends who dual stream on Twitch and YouTube. Have you been to their streams on YouTube? They focus on Twitch chat. So if you want me to stop focusing on YouTube chat and YouTube stream, if I start dual streaming and start focusing on Twitch chat, then you would encourage me to start doing Twitch more. Because just the dual streaming experience sucks. I've been to their streams where I've dropped a comment and they don't even see it because they're not focusing on YouTube chat. I guess I could go over there on Twitch where I will get ads because, you know, I don't pay for the Twitch subscription and I can't rewind the stream. Like if I miss, you know, Brett going live by like 30 minutes, like, oh, I can't catch, you know, the start of the stream. To me, it's, I don't know. Being a like content creator on YouTube and been streaming on YouTube for as long as I have, I am pretty set in my ways. I understand that. I just don't want to make the experience worse for you guys. Brave Browser, it's having YouTube Prime for free. Yeah, that's a good point that Jason brings up. Everybody wants YouTube content for free. But if YouTubers eventually can't make content anymore because they're not making enough revenue, because sponsorships are definitely, they're starting to dry up. You know, you talk about companies going lean and letting go of employees and stuff like that. That's happening across in every industry. So sponsorships and stuff, opportunities are getting further and fewer between. I've tried the merch thing. The merch doesn't bring in much money, unfortunately. AdSense, there's affiliate links too, but because I deal with a lot of used parts, affiliate links aren't super applicable. When people talk about using ad blockers and stuff like that, you're cutting into a lot of people's like potential revenue when they've already provided you with free content and all you had to do is watch an ad for 5 seconds and then click skip. I'm not trying to guilt trip you into like disabling your ad blocker. I use ad blocker too, but that's for other websites, which I guess you could argue other websites should get paid, like, you know, Tom's Hardware or whatever the heck that you go to for your news or your information and stuff. They should get paid too for running their ads, which I don't know if those ads. So you know how ad blocker reduces a YouTuber's revenue? Does ad blocking reduce a website's, you know, those Google AdSense on the side? Like, I'm guessing Google can detect that you're running ad block and aren't seeing the ads pop up. The big boom of creators during COVID has made it hard on all old creators, and the new ones now that the revenue ad is drying out. That is true. I mean, that's always going to be a thing that's going to happen, right? The pool of creators is always going to be growing, but the pool of potential sponsors and companies, like, for sure, those are growing. There's new companies being made every day for like whatever thing that you could advertise and have pre-roll ads for, but it's not at the same rate as the barrier to entry of that compared to becoming a content creator. The rate of growth of the number of content creators is definitely growing faster than the amount of sponsorships and companies, you know, springing up. I use 1.5 speed a lot to catch up on the streams late. Yeah, so that's like another good, you know, pro for YouTube. I don't want to go back to talk about Twitch versus YouTube because everybody understands the pros and cons of each platform. But Twitch is definitely for streaming leading, and it still blows my mind how that is. I don't think YouTube streaming needs to surpass Twitch. I think it needs to get closer, though, considering, you know, everything that YouTube does correctly. And I know they're trying to catch up. Like, that's why they introduced channel memberships and custom emojis and stuff like that, and membership-only videos, which, as you guys know, I gotta give a huge thanks, as my mind just realized. Like, for all the channel memberships, you guys never had to join membership to support me at all, right? You guys could continue to keep watching my videos completely for free. And some people have stepped up, not all of you, and I don't care that not everybody is a member. That's fine. That's just the way things are. But there are people who have stepped up, like the Gnomed, like the Citruses, right? Like the Mike 1360s. There are people who have stepped up and decided, you know what, every month I'm going to donate anywhere from $1 to $5 to Danny, because he has brought some kind of value in my life, whether it's helping them save money or just finding entertainment out of it, and it's cheap enough. But they didn't have to do that. None of the... When you guys super chat, I mean, sure, I'll read the super chat, but you could still participate in the stream. I still read comments that aren't super chatted. Anytime people donate and, like, go above and beyond when they don't have to, I do genuinely appreciate you guys. I pretty much have everything of mine not behind a paywall. I don't release membership exclusive stuff. I want it to be accessible to everybody, but people still said, you know what? I want to pay and help you out, so thank you. Truly, from the bottom of my heart. Like, I'm not trying to be, you know, sentimental, corny, or stuff like that, but it means a lot. No membership link in the description. You don't need a membership link. You have to enable memberships. I don't even know if membership linking is a thing. Right next to subscribe, there will be a membership link if you go into YouTube settings and enable memberships. Why that needs to be a thing, I don't know, because I think because of that setting, people don't even realize memberships are a thing or that they can join it. Like, for me, you guys, you get the membership, you know, people see your little icons next to your name, and you get, like, some Jensen, Lisa Sue, Dino Nugget, Tater Tots, and some fun emojis to work with, right? Like, these emojis, you get to show that you are a supporter in the stream. You get those, you get your badge next to your name, and the fact that people donate just for that, I'm eternally grateful for real. Yeah, so if you don't see the membership, you need to go enable it in your thing. And I did not mean to start talking about this as a pity party for people to start joining memberships. Because but now people are joining after I'm mentioning it, which now I appreciate it. RetroVet357, thank you for joining the Nerd on a Big Budget membership. And Baby Decentric, thanks for joining the Nerd on a Budget tier level. That's the $3. So I got the $1 tier, $3 tier, or $5 tier, right? And usually what people do is they do the join channel membership, and then after a while, they cancel it, which is totally fine. That's totally normal. I've had some crazy long supporters. Like when we saw with Citrus, 32 months. Some people have been memberships since I've opened up the membership. So I couldn't ask for, you know, better supporters and viewers and fans. So thank you. I can see one problem. You have been on for 3 hours and have 47 likes. We need to do better for you. I mean, the like and view ratio and stuff like that, it's always like that. You're never going to get the same amount of everybody who views to like. You guys have noticed in my videos that I don't ask for likes and subscribes, right? I feel like, do you think that works as we're going 3.5 hours into stream? When you see a new channel and they say at the very beginning, before you even viewed their content, they're telling you to like and subscribe. For all you know, it could be crappy content coming up. When they ask for you to like and subscribe at the beginning of the video, you don't even know who they are. You never seen anything from them. Do you actually go and like and subscribe? And then also, let's say they moved it to the end of the video. You saw the content you thought was pretty good. how often are you liking and subscribing at the moment that the person tells you to? Versus liking, subscribing naturally because you've seen their content and you're just like, this is just good content. Maybe it's my like, I don't like and subscribe when people tell me like and subscribe. I like and subscribe after I've watched either one of your videos and it is really good and I'm like, oh yeah, this is my cup of tea. Or I've ended up casually watching multiple of your videos, you know, over time, and I'm like, wait a minute, how am I not subscribed to this person? I've watched like 4 or 5 videos by this point. I like their stuff. But yeah, I don't like and subscribe when people tell me or they pop up on the screen. And if you guys have noticed, I don't do that in my videos. I've tried it before in the past, like I've had the little bell and thumbs up in the thing, but I haven't physically said like and subscribe in a video for who knows how long. If you guys can find, here's a bounty. The person who can link me the most recent video where I asked viewers to like and subscribe physically with my mouth, not with the little notification pop-up thing, I'll pay you 50 bucks. So what you need to do is you need to find the video, send it to the Discord channel, then I will pin that comment as the most recent one until somebody else finds a different video of mine where I ask for a like and subscribe with my voice, and then that will take over until we can find the last. I don't even know when the last time I asked about likes and subscribes is. So I'm saying because I can't see it on my phone for the membership. Okay, yeah. People feel if you could use a transcript feature to find it, the bounty's still 50 bucks. I will PayPal or buy you a Steam gift card. The thing is, I can't pay you right away because someone might find a more recent video. So we need to lock in for sure that was the most recent video. But if you guys haven't seen all my old videos and are just looking for stuff to watch, feel free to go on this quest. But it's been a while. I don't even know what transcript tools out there you can use because you still have to go through the backlog of videos and all of that. But yeah. I have said it about 5 times now. You're right. In this day and age, you have to tell the viewers to like and subscribe. Just don't go crazy with it. I might bring... Okay, you know what? I might bring back that little thing that pops up. Do I have it here? Let me see. Like and subscribe. I don't. But I do have one of those things where it's green screened out so I can just make it pop up in any video. And I could do it, but... I never liked that. I'm trying to think. A decent amount of my content creator friends also don't ask for it. Have to mention memberships every once in a while. I do. At the end of every video, maybe I need to go more in depth. I thank the membership, everybody, like every single time. I try to. Not in every video, usually for most videos, because like for the LAN party videos, you know, I do a different ending. I update this list every single video upload. I have to go into YouTube membership, pull out the Excel file, copy and paste it into Photoshop so that this list of names is updated. I shout out and thank the channel members and super gifters every single video at the end of it. And not every video, like 99% of the videos. Maybe I need to go in more in depth talking about what I just talked about tonight. Like, you guys are a big help. You don't, you know, all that stuff. It means, like, maybe I need to make but then it makes every video have the same thing, thanks for longer. I feel like seeing your name directly on a immortalized video is, like, good enough. And I don't want to, like, water the video down with the same long drawn out thank you message. I got a cool sound effect. This thing pops up on screen. Everyone gets their names. Thank you all as always for watching and for continuing to support the channel. Shout out to the channel members and zing! I got a cool sound effect and a cool transition and everything. No, but I get what you're saying. I don't know. The thing is, most of the viewers aren't in the position where they could just do memberships. Maybe talking about the memberships during the stream is the best way to do it, because people who come to this stream, you guys are the above and beyond viewers, to be honest, and the people who watch the LAN Party Story series. Like, we know most of like YouTube numbers are just like overinflated. Like, yeah, I have 309,000 subscribers. 309,000 people clearly aren't watching my videos, and they clearly aren't the ones liking and leaving comments though, right? But the people who watch the niche content like LAN Party Stories, you guys out there who come back week after week, you guys are the one. And again, I'm not asking you guys to join channel memberships and stuff like that, but you guys are the ones who are more likely to if you're able to. So we are, oh my god, we're going into 4 hours of stream. I got to end this somehow, but I just feel like there's still, 100 plus people watching, and there's still stuff to talk about. So it's kind of hard to just end it on this note. 9 Flyers says happy to be a new member. This is all I ask of you if you're a new member, right? If you can support, that's great. Thank you. If for whatever reason, I see this all the time. Don't worry. When I go and update my channel membership list, the names change. Sometimes people's names disappear because they said, oh, I'm going to cancel it. Never feel bad about that. Because I feel bad about that when I have canceled to other people that I have subscribed to, like monetarily. But then it's like, wait. You've supported for any amount of time is still huge. And, yeah, it's just like, even if you can only support for 1 month and then cancel it right afterwards, that's already more than potentially 309,000 other subscribers who, got to watch all my free content and streams have ever done, right? Which I still appreciate my viewers, again, who don't directly donate or do memberships, because their viewership, if they're not using ad block, helps out, because I still get YouTube ad rev. I guess what are my opinions on viewers who watch my content for free, have benefited from it, and they have ad block on? If they're using affiliate links, I guess I'm okay with it, because then that's a way of contributing. But if not even that, I guess their view count, everything's based on view count. Like, view count translates to YouTube ad rev, but also view count also, like when you're looking up a video, let's say I'm looking up a video for a review for a graphics card. Am I more likely to click one that has, on day one, 700,000 views, or one that has 2,000 views, right? That's what happens every time a graphics card launch releases. Gamers Nexus, Hardware Unbox, Linus Tech Tips, and maybe a few other channels, they get their, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. And then all the medium-sized and smaller channels who got lucky enough to get a graphics card and spent hours reviewing the graphics card, they get like 3,000-4,000 reviews. So, I mean, they'll break like 10,000 over time and stuff, but like, you just look at the disparity, right? So viewership, even if you are blocking ads, has some inherent value in increasing that number ever so slightly, so that if my video on one topic is placed against somebody else's similar video, either my video looks better because more people have viewed it, or if I don't have as much views as the next guy, the closer I can get to his views, the better chance someone will click on my video too, versus it having like abysmal views, like some of my recent videos. Like, if you are looking up a $750 budget build and you see my most recent one with less than 10,000 views versus, let's say, my buddy, like let's say Zach's Tech Turf, for I'm sure he's released a $750 view recently, and his views have been killing it right now. He's been getting like 100,000+ on all the videos. Who do you think a newbie who doesn't know either of our channels is going to click on? Probably Zach's video. Bro is trying to pay off his new EV. Okay, I'm dropping this information now. We paid the EV off in cash. That's what happens when you're a nerd on a budget and you live frugally in every aspect of your life and are conscientious about saving money. You can buy cars out completely. We bought our EV cash. But I will have to say, we are doing it on dual income. I did not buy it by myself. Again, me and Melissa. So effectively, the cost of the EV, when you split it in between two people, it's like now, that $50,000 brand new EV is now a $25,000 per person EV. You have to share it, but me and my wife, we pretty much go everywhere together. So, it's not like we need two separate cars for the most part. We still have our old cars. But I'm not trying to pay off my new EV. It's been paid for. Maybe you can say I'm trying to recuperate the cost of our bank accounts, but no. Yeah, we paid it off in cash. And it was just because interest rates suck so much right now. If it was 0% interest, which they have had from like certain dealerships and brands, we may have gone that route, because why not, right? You could put your money into the market and make it grow and stuff instead of paying it. But interest rates for cars right now with 800 plus credit score, it's like 6 to 7%. It depends on like what the term of it is and what your down payment, etc. But still, 6 to 7%. Let's say you put down 20K on a 50K car, so you're taking down a $30,000 loan on that much. By the end of the loan, you end up paying like $6,000 or $7,000 in interest. And I guess you could say, if you could beat the market with your money, but then like you're dealing with putting money in the market, hoping you're getting a higher percent return than that, and then dealing with the tax implications of your gains. Bro, we had the money. We just bought the car outright because interest rate sucks. That's the simple answer to it. Did you buy a new EV? Yeah, we got a new EV. We've talked about it in the previous streams, actually. You must have missed it. We're going to do the EV stream after the graphics card news dies down. There's too much to talk about with, all the releases coming out. People are probably more interested in that than me talking about the new EV that we bought. But yes, we bought an EV. I've talked about it in the streams a little bit here and there, but we did. Yeah, Jason got a 1.5% rate on his in 2021. You can never sell. Well, you have a Tesla Model 3. What year is yours, Jason? When you bought it in 2021, did you buy it brand new or did you buy it used? Just the EV market, it's really interesting because EVs do take a hit in value pretty quickly, even 1 or 2 years after the fact. But people also use and abuse EVs all the time. So many EVs, even after, like, when I was looking in the used market, that's why we ended up buying new. In the used market, I saw so many EVs that were like 2 or 3 years old, already at 100,000 miles. Yeah, they're probably like Uber drivers and DoorDash delivery drivers, but I cannot fathom putting 100,000 miles into a car over the course of 2 to 3 years. And it probably helps that, they're just charging up at home every single day, or like making use of cheaper energizing the car. I can't say refueling because they're EVs, but yeah, it's crazy. You have some nice incentives in your area. Yeah. Yeah, we got $7,500 off on the EV incentive. But so here's the crazy thing about, if you can get a used EV, I believe it's under out the door pricing $25,000. There's currently a $4,000 savings. It's so weird. They have these arbitrary numbers, but that effectively means you can buy a $25,000 used EV for closer to almost 20,000. But there's only a certain amount of cars in that market, which include a ton of Teslas, because people have driven those cars to the ground. So then you're looking at a $20,000, Tesla Model 3 or something with like 120,000 miles on it. And the way that me and my wife drive, we put like at max 10,000 miles a year on our car. So whatever car we got, we knew we were going to keep for longer than 10 years. So just getting it brand new, getting the factory warranty for the entire, battery and everything major for the car, it was just worth it to buy it new and not have to worry about, like, what were people's charging habits? Did they let it die a bunch of times, as well as charge it to 100% every night and degraded the battery? All those things. $5 super chat. Super nerdy voice. WTF. Why do you sound like that? Just found this channel. Salute. What up, noisy MacBook? This is a strange comment. Yes, I have a super nerdy voice. People have super nerdy voices. Some people have super deep, cool sounding, voices. Some people sound like Morgan Freeman and any other sexy sounding voice people. I was blessed. Not blessed. I was the opposite of blessed. I was cursed with a voice that matches my visual aesthetics. I'm a skinny Asian nerd with glasses, and I have a matching voice. But hopefully, if you're new to the channel, check out my content. If you like it, hopefully you stick around and hang out. I don't take this as like an insult or anything. It is what it is. I am very well aware. Mine has like, yeah, see, Jason's a pretty well. It was through the pandemic too, so that's probably why you have a little bit of less miles than you might have had. But 3 years, 25,000. That's probably around what we drive. And what year did you get? It was new. So you bought it 2021. You knew there weren't any used. Yeah, dude. Looking at used EVs, I mean Teslas already make up the majority of the like market share in the U.S. of EVs on the road, but in the used market, because of how EVs plummet in value and people are driving them to like 100,000+ miles, there are so many people just offloading their old Teslas. Which, I mean, maybe for like a secondary car, like a used Tesla might not be a bad thing, but for our first EV, we wanted new. I have a Tesla Model 3 2022 and just bought new tires, and it was quite reasonable. Yeah, as much hate as Tesla gets, their cars, their EVs, are very affordable. And the tech in them is like, you know, ahead because they've been around since the Roadster and the Model S. So, a girl on WoW in 2006 told me on Ventrilo, lol, nerdy voice, and wait, seriously, Jason? I don't think you have that nerdy of a sounding voice. Definitely not as nerdy as me. And then between me and Kyle, I don't know, man. I used to be conscious about my voice because I have had people. All right, this is so messed up, guys. But if I go into my YouTube comments and search Sid, okay, I'm gonna do this right now. Sid the Sloth. Now that I'm telling you guys this, you aren't gonna be able to unsee it. I am outing myself. We're gonna take a look at this. Let me see. Stream submissions. Sid the Sloth. Sid. Okay. Comments. You think I didn't like develop a thicker skin after all of this? Community. All right, boys. Let's see what we got. All right. I need to actually log in. Okay, let me make sure nothing is showing. I'm going to actually show the window. I'm going to change the browser. I need to make sure I'm not showing anything. Okay, so we're going to change browsers, which we never do, to my main browser because of the potential of doxing myself. But look at this. This is my YouTube studio. All right, we look up the word Sid, right? Everybody knows Sid the Sloth from Ice Age. Did you act the voice of Sid in Ice Age? Dude, I can't get over how much you sound like Sid from Ice Age. You kind of sound like Sid from Ice Age. Hold up, he's the voice from Sid the Sloth. Nice vid, by the way. Only love from me. Which, I don't mind these types of comments. Actually, I don't mind any of the comments. I'm in my mid-30s. I'm like living a good life. I got a wife. You know, life's good. I got a pretty decently successful YouTube channel. You think this gets through to me? But if you thought I wasn't aware of my nerdy voice, oh, you are dead wrong. Did you voice Sid the Sloth? Oh my god, Sid the Sloth. A lot of these are from 4 years ago. Can I sort these by new? We're just gonna read through them. Maybe we can find some more recent ones. Why does he sound like Sid the Sloth? I don't want to be rude or anything, but you sound like Sid from Ice Age. Didn't know that my man Sid from Ice Age made PCs. It would make my day if you did a Sid the Sloth impression. Where's the more recent? Oh, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Have I been getting less of these more recently? I guess some of this was from 2 months ago, 8 months ago. But I see most comments, alright? If you didn't think I knew that my voice was nerdy, now you know that I know. Sid the Sloth's voice, yeah, it's that one guy. I don't know what his name is. But he usually plays like a, you know, like a henchman in some movies and stuff like that. He's usually playing like some kind of like, he's in the mob or, you know, a gang member. Sometimes he's a cop or like a corrupted cop if he's a cop. I don't know what the guy's name is, but yes, I know. Wait, is Kyle here? I don't see Kyle in here anywhere. What career fields are you and your wife in? So I went to school for engineering and for the bulk of my career, structural engineering, and then my wife is an accountant. So, we both have college degrees. We both finished school with no debt because we're so poor, or our parents were so poor, right? I talked about this in previous streams. When your parents are below a certain amount of income for your household, colleges, especially back in, like, mid-2000s, like, I graduated high school in 2007. I don't know about how it looks today, but back then, if you were, like, on free